the actual fuck?
Is when I see you guys.
Okay. Oh boy. Oh yeah, I see some of you folks are filtered in here. Yeah, we just doing a. I'm just testing the setup today, and yeah, we did get a bigger monitor. There's gonna be all sorts of different lighted fixtures and things. It's gonna be a different backdrop, so we're working on that and just trying to get the lighting correctly, because I mean, as you can see here, you can clearly see my studio lights and all of that shit. So that's got to be, I got to figure out a way so that's not in in the screen. So just trying to figure all this crap out. I'm no expert on any of this shit. So trying to do it on my own is crazy. Here, what the hell is going on with this one? So I'm checking it out on, you guys are on YouTube, and I'm trying to see how it works out on TikTok, just to see what it looks like. So I'll know what I'm working with in the future. So I mean, I assume by the end of tomorrow, I should be up and running on this. So once I get all, well, I got a couple other items that are coming. Bigger TV on the back. Yeah, the television's certainly bigger. We got a brand new. Somebody talked about the HDMI cable. Yes, we got a brand new extended length HDMI cable. So that problem is solved as well. All new shit. I mean, all newer stuff. So hopefully it ends up working. It's funny you brought that HDMI cable up. That is hilarious. But yeah, we did get a new HDMI cable, so that won't be a problem going forward. When I'm trying to illustrate things to you, the screen won't go dark. So trying to center it is a problem too. Oh shit! I'm trying to, I guess, right there, because I got stuff that's going to end up on both sides of this, and I don't, because I actually widen the platform in the back is wider. So, but I mean, the way I'm looking at it, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. I think I'm just going to use this side here for some stuff here, and I don't think I'm even going to go on that side because I would have to zoom out pretty far for you to see it. But I did expand the base probably about another almost a foot wider. So, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to use it all. What about the? Yeah, I see somebody said the Asian. We definitely thanks. Appreciate you guys saying it looks better. So we're gonna try it out. Like I said, by tomorrow it should be about 80-90% done. Um, Different lighted signs and things like that are going to be in the back. Obviously, the timer is necessary. So I got hammered from last night's show because some guests were up longer than others, and people get pissed off about that. Certainly toward the end when we're just bloviating about whatever topic's going on, and if and because I like talking to MAGA, I generally don't, because I don't get as many MAGA guests as well, but I always say MAGA are my preferred guests. So I usually get a MAGA guest a little bit longer time. Last night I give a couple of them a lot of time, and people actually inboxed me. I actually had folks in my inbox telling me you give MAGA too much time. I'm like, well, shit. It's only about a handful of callers per live is MAGA. So damn, let me holler at MAGA for a little bit. But I had a lot of guests that were talking about that. But yeah, but this is going to be the backdrop. Once we get it done with a few more things, the monitor and all that. But because I put a bigger monitor up, it's making it so that I need to zoom out some. I'm trying. What I would like to do is have a horizontal show. I just got to figure out where to center the, because a few folks, I don't know how many, but a few folks actually do watch the show on a television at home. So they want that horizontal format. So I actually, wow, somebody sent me a hat mustache. Appreciate that, big dog. Thank you. On the test lab, we just testing out everything tonight because I'm checking out my setup. But thank you, big dog. I do appreciate that. So yeah, a few folks do watch the show on, like, they goof around in the house or whatever, and they watching it on TV as opposed to on handheld and portable devices. So we used to do a horizontal live, so with the screen turned the other way, and I didn't think much about it. But once I stopped doing it, some people have asked, like, I used to watch you at home on TV, and I don't like this vertical is not as good on television because you get the both both sides of it, you just get a black screen or whatever. Whereas if I turn it the other way, your whole screen is filled with the program. So I might end up doing some horizontal formatted labs as well. All it takes is for one of my cameras to be turned that way, and we can end up fulfilling that as well. It's all love, brother. Appreciate that, big dog. Thank you very much. So yeah. So you guys favorite now. I'm off centered also. Whereas, I mean, you saw me on the other lives. I'm generally sitting right by the monitor like this, but because I got a wider screen and things like that, I'm going to be off centered so that you can get the monitor in and all of the stuff that's going to be on this side of the screen. There's going to be stuff over here, so signs and things like that. So there's going to be stuff pertaining to the program. So I'm going to be off centered as opposed to how I used to be, whereas I was dead center. So that's just some a little few details. Like I said, it's going to be a work in progress. The last live I had, I've had that live about I don't know. I mean, I've had that backdrop probably almost 3 years now. So I figured I wanted to try to do something else. I wanted a bigger screen so that I could, so you guys could see a little bit more, and we'll see. But the problem is when I zoom in, well, yeah, it looks all right. When I gotta fix the lighting. Like I said, my stage lights or whatever, my backdrop lights, you can see them on there. I can just lower them down and get them off the back, but you can clearly see the lighting that's lighting up the show is on the screen. So I got to fix that. That definitely has to be fixed. No, we did not move at all. No, there was no relocation to do this. It's all just I am completely changing the backdrop for the studio. So I just literally went out, totally new materials, new monitor, new cables and all of that. Somebody pointed out it's just going to be a totally different backdrop. But we're in the same location as we always been. It's just a totally big different backdrop. Just like a studio. For one season they do it one way. Like let's say you have a talk show and all of a sudden the next season they finally change their studio. And that's kind of what we did here. I wanted to make sure that I could illustrate things better to you folks. So I'm considering actually maybe having another. This is only a 7-inch tablet, but I have a 10-inch. I mean, I got a lot of shit around here. 10-inch tablet. I'm actually considering maybe having one of these here too for other purposes to simultaneously be able to illustrate more than one thing. So it's still a work in progress. All of these are like that. When I did it the first time, it was like that too. It took me probably 2 or 3 months before I finally had all of the things in place because I need to be able to hit switches and remotes to operate all that shit. So it takes time to make sure it's all on screen and make sure I can make it work with the program. I am a one man band, so that's why I always tell you guys when you supporting the program, it helps out because this ain't Sabadora TikTok or whatever you see folks with. This is not a green screen. This is real shit to make the show entertaining. We don't just use Sabadora or whatever that folks use a green screen and they're just that. No, this is a real backdrop. So, and hopefully it makes the program a little bit more entertaining and we can illustrate stuff better. Can't your can't your head always in the way? In the way of what? My head doesn't even reach the monitor. So what is it in the way of? I like to know. Um, Tim, but that MAGA hat needs to go. Well, let me tell you something. Guess what? We do have something else that's en route. It'll be a big surprise. I'm not even going to tell you what it is, but there's something else en route that's going to be on the show for at least the next probably I'm assuming 2 or 3 years. So because it used to be Trump and Biden up, and then it was Trump and Kamala. And of course, it's Trump and JD Vance. We got something coming. We got something coming. So it'll be. I'll see how you guys react to it, but you'll notice it the minute it goes up. So there is something coming that will be a little bit of opposition to the MAGA hat. We'll just say it like that. I want to talk to you about yesterday's calls. Can you talk? Yeah, I can holler at you for a few. Nate, if you want to request to come up, I can bring you up. Whatever you want to run by me real quick. I'm not opposed to having a pseudo live for a minute. So go ahead and put your request in. I'll bring you up, and you can holler at me for a minute. There we go. Okay. Nate's a subscriber, so I'm not gonna leave my subscribers hanging. Nate, what's going on? Are you, can you hear me?
How you trying to improve? You know
Huh?
what I'm saying? Like how you trying to improve the show.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to make it so I can illustrate things better. People can see stuff better. Just make it more comfortable and easier to operate for me while I'm sitting in the hot seat here, and just make it overall entertaining, more entertaining.
All right. So the first thing was with your man yesterday talking about the stop and frisk.
Mm-hmm.
That if it's constitutional and everything else, like I told you, I'm from New York, so it's okay to stop and frisk if there's a probable cause. The stop and frisk was just, hey, you come here. What do you got in your pockets? That's how they were doing it in New York.
What's the probable
So
cause?
that's the point. That he was trying to say that it was constitutional. Yeah, but if they have a probable cause, it's constitutional.
Right.
They weren't doing that. They were just going into people's pockets. Hey, yo, come here.
Yeah.
Let me see your ID. And just go in your pockets and take your stuff. Pull up. That's how a lot of people got caught up with weed. You empty out your pockets and you had a bag on you. Now you got arrested.
Well, let's be clear. The whole purpose of stop and frisk is indeed a fishing expedition. You don't have anything legitimate on this person. As you say, probable cause could be really anything. You saw me and took off running, so I'm going to check. I mean, that's what happened to the kid in Baltimore that led to a bunch of riots. He saw the police, made eye contact, and he took off running. They caught up to him and ended up arresting him, threw him in the back of the paddy wagon unrestrained, drove kind of wild, and he ended up dead. But it was really based on nothing other than, as you say, probable cause.
Well, the Supreme Court already ruled that suspicion is not probable cause.
Right.
So if you just see me run, doesn't mean that's probable cause. You have to see me about to commit a crime, committing a crime, or just finishing committing a crime.
Yeah.
That's exactly how the Supreme Court put it.
Yeah, and I'll submit to you the same thing what I was telling the guest last night is that if you get a police the ability to stop and frisk under the guise that they can do it if they have reasonable suspicion, they're just going to continue doing what you complained about in New York, and they'll just make up reasonable suspicion.
Yeah, and then my other thing to add on to that was I had looked up in the whole United States, it's 8.2% that the cases get thrown out for whatever reason. No, it wasn't just cause, lack of evidence, whatever that is. But in New York, for the last 3 years, so for last year was 37 to 38% got thrown out.
Wow.
But 2023 was 60%
Damn.
cases got thrown out. And in 2021, it was 70 that got thrown out.
70% of their cases. What were they getting? Were they getting thrown out because of fruit from the poisonous tree? In other words, you never had a right to stop them to begin with.
That plus people can't get into their feelings. So they'll tell you a move and you curse them out. They grab you for dishonor. I have the freedom of speech. I could curse you out.
Yeah.
Not on the job. You on the job.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times that cops get into their feelings, or they'll grab you and just want to make your day bad. You know what I'm saying? We'll just lock you up and we can figure this out later.
That was the whole. That was the whole.
Only reason it dropped, but the only reason it dropped is because we could sue for their pensions.
Wow, that should be everywhere.
The qualified immunity, like you know what you did was illegal, you did it anyway. Like you like stop and frisk. If you didn't have a reason to stop me and grab me and whatever, like it was already as long as the Supreme Court already ruled on it. Like, that's not my fault. Like, you can't claim ignorance that you didn't know that you couldn't do that.
Wow.
So we could sue you directly for your pension. That's why they stopped doing all that.
Well, that was what the whole when you talked about cops defending their ego. If you say something, even though it's covered by free speech, that's the whole genuine reason or the original reason that the Democrats were saying defund the police. It was never about just go around getting rid of police. It was defund the police. In other words, reallocate that money for training. Stuff like Teach them how to de-escalate situations. Teach them how to not defend their egos. In other words, if the person ain't doing nothing illegal, leave them a fucking alone. Okay, you pulled over somebody. They're upset and they're swearing, which is 100% legal. If they're not committing a crime, don't escalate the situation because you don't like them swearing at you. And that you are right. A lot of cops are out there defending their ego as opposed to protecting and serving. So if you do something they don't like, disrespect him, for instance, all of a sudden now they making up shit and they fucking with you. That's what the defund the police movement was about.
Yeah, so like in New York, like so when the cops get called, they also have other police cops. I guess they went through some kind of training. Their police cars are green, it's different. It's a different color or whatever. They talk to you. Like they're community cops, basically. Those are the ones that are standing around. They see kids walking by, hey, how you doing, or whatever. They'll see them playing basketball in the park, and they'll start shooting around with them so they can get a feel, you know, you don't have to be scared of us or whatever. So they're more to the community.
It's not enough of them. That's the problem, unfortunately. Is that what did I just do here? Oh shit! All right, hang on a second. For you folks on YouTube, give me a second. We're really just testing out my background I'm gonna be using and seeing what the lighting is like. But one of my guests wanted to talk to me, so that's why we're talking. And he is a subscriber, so I never leave my subs hanging. Let me see if I can bring. I don't know what, for some reason I hit the TikTok thing dropped there. Somebody says facts. Yeah, like I said, if cops were not defending their ego, a lot of things would not be going on. You're not by law required to respect a cop. You are by law required to obey the law and comply with officers. You're not required to respect anybody. They don't have the right to do things to you because you didn't quote unquote respect them. But we do know a lot of cops do actually demand respect, and that can cause all sorts of problems, as my caller is pointing out. I agree with him 100% on that. That respect shit needs to go. Nate, sorry about that.
Yeah, that's cool. So another thing that I heard yesterday was the burning of flag, right? Like we have the right to I guess we did have the right to freedom of speech of burning the flag.
Right.
So I guess say if I grab a flag and I just spray paint it, like I should be getting arrested too, right?
If you go out and knit or sew or make your own flag and you light it on fire, yeah, if they say it's against the law to do it, yeah, even if it's your property, they're gonna get you.
Okay, so then I got the little flip coin for that. So all these Trump flags with President Trump on them and everything, they should be getting arrested for that, right?
What do you mean?
Because they're destroying the flag. Like you put Trump on the flag. Like
to me the whole I agree with you. To me the whole desecration of the flag thing is bullshit because if you go by actual flag code, there's a whole lot of people. You got Confederate flags and American flags sold together. You got people that got the Israeli flag or in the American flag hooked together. You got the police that draw a blue line through the flag, which is indeed that violates flag code by discoloring it. I think the nurses do it. The fire department does it. I mean, there's so many people that violate flag code. I don't understand why. Well, the guy who burns it is the one that needs to go to prison, but all these other people can do all this other stuff to it, and they're totally fine. It's all of that stuff. If you're going to defend the flag and say people should not disrespect or treat the flag, I mean, people violate the President Trump himself on his inauguration. He actually demanded that the flag that was at half mast for Jimmy Carter be raised to full mast. How is that not some kind of? So there's all kinds of shit going on.
Okay, so my next one was when I put in I forgot who was talking, but whatever. But I put $3 billion to Israel should stop. Well, I forgot what was the conversation. I know it was something about how we're spending money or whatever. So I said like the $3 billion to Israel. Israel has free Medicare because we're giving them the $3 billion. They have the free education because we're giving them $3 billion. Even their military gets free medical and everything else because we're paying for it.
Yeah, I don't think, and I'm not disagreeing with you. We should be funding Israel, but I don't think that's ever going to happen because I want to let me play this quick clip for you. I think this will give a good example why I don't think we're ever going to stop defending Israel. Those who bless Israel is curse Israel will be cursed. I'm trying to. And from my perspective, hold on a second. The blessing side of things. Okay. My computer. Yeah. Okay. This right here. My computer had locked up for a minute, but this right here for other people that are listening to it hadn't heard it. This is why we're never going to stop sending money to Israel. In this school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I would be on the blessing side of things. Those who bless the government of Israel? Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of it, says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that. Where is that? I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use it's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean? Tucker. I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about. Hey, he's not the only... I mean, that's a sitting senator using the Bible as a reason to help out. He's not the only one that believes that crazy stuff. So as long as you got Americans that think like that God is telling us to look out for Israel, we're always going to do it.
Yeah, he's also the one who said no for the college tax break.
Yeah.
Like yeah. But yeah, we should give them whatever they want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That totally goes against separation of church and state. You're using the Bible as a reason to give our money, our tax-paying money to another nation. And you're saying the Bible is what's, you're getting this out of the Bible. I mean, that's insane even. I mean, to me, he should face problems just for even saying something like that. But a lot of folks on the right would agree with him.
And then your last guy, well, I think he was like your second to last guy. He was from New York. You say he was from the Bronx.
Oh my God.
Jersey. That guy. I think he was just broke. Like he had a bad job. He couldn't afford New York. And he was just saying, oh, well, somewhere else I could get a house. I could do this. Like you just looking for the grass greener for somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like New York is expensive. Yes, it is. But it's also where everybody travels to just to come see New York. And if they could stay here, they would.
Yeah. Well, my response is...
And then he didn't move far. He moved to Jersey. So he stood in Jersey so he could drive to New York to make the money in New York. Because New York pays good. McDonald's workers make $20 an hour.
Mm. Yeah, I think he also sounded to me like he was fairly anti-immigrant, too.
Which he is.
Yeah,
But he is an immigrant. That didn't make no sense.
No, well, there are black people that are anti-black. I mean, Candace Owens, Hodge twins, Officer Tatum.
I think Kansas does that just for the money.
Could be.
Because when they cut her off, she started talking nice.
Oh shit! You done? You don't get to come back with all of that footage out there.
But you saw it. She tried.
Good luck with that.
She was leading for the money. Same thing as Dash. What's her name? The hot chick. He was bad. Damon Dash's cousin.
Oh, you talking about Stacey Dash? Yeah, she gone too. Yeah, she gone too. Yeah, I mean,
but then she tried to slide back. You know what I'm saying?
So only person I could see possibly sliding back, and it would take a very, very long time, would be Kanye, because he is talented. I mean, whereas if Kanye, because he done fucked up over and over again, but he puts out great music, just like R. Kelly, for instance, is fucked up, but he puts out great music. If Kanye West could, maybe produce other artists and put out some really good music, and he might be able to slowly, because a lot of people think he's mentally ill to begin with, but the likes of Stacey Dash and Candace Owens, they're never going to be accepted back. They don't have anything really to give for people to let them come back in.
Well, he is a genius at his craft.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He is a genius at his craft, and he does have the Kim Kardashian curse. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Anybody who mess with that, Reggie Bush, the guy from the Nets, Ray J, they all just, their whole shit always got destroyed. The Kardashians destroy every guy.
Well, you're gonna say that anybody who messes with the Kardashians get destroyed. Well, he went from the Kardashians to messing with Trump. You know what happens to a lot of people that mess with Trump.
Well, she jumped on Trump too. Remember, she was in the office with him by himself.
Yeah, but I don't have an issue with what Kardashian was. Kim Kardashian was trying to be an attorney. I think she may have passed the bar, and then she was trying to use her being a lawyer to get people that are wrongfully convicted free. Just like when Steve Harvey and Ice Cube them started kind of talking to Trump, they were trying to do it for a way that might be beneficial to the black community. Some folks are just doing it, like Lil Wayne was just doing it for himself. He didn't give a damn. It wasn't doing it for the black community. So I mean, it depends on what you're doing it for. And I think Kim Kardashian was probably doing it for a good cause. The problem is though, is that if your primary, I don't want to say customer base, the people who follow you, if you're an entertainer, your fans. That's what I'm looking for. If your primary fan base are black people or people of color, it's going to be hard for you to be friendly or favorable to Trump and maintain your fan base. As a person of color, only person I know that's a person of color that has been favorable to Trump and still maintain their fan base is Mike Tyson. Everybody else that's of color, the minute they started getting near him, their fans started drying up and they had to get away from him.
Well, I think she did the Monica Lewinsky symbol. That's what I think. I don't think I haven't seen her bring up another case of anything out of there. So, and there was one more thing. So you were talking about the chick. Let me see. I know I wrote it down. The chick who got shot at the White House or whatever. They try to give her the military whatever.
You're my Ashley Babbitt. Ashley Babbitt. Yeah, Ashley Babbitt.
Okay, so like I know you were playing devil's advocate when you were like, oh, like she should get it or whatever. But
no, I believe
in that same token, the guy who shot JFK, he was military. He should get it too.
Oh, you mean
he was in the middle of a crime?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, I am ignorant on that. I thought if you actually, or if you are discharged honorably from the military, serve your country, you get an honorable discharge. I didn't think what you do once you get out could affect whether or not you have a military funeral. Because I thought that, based on that, Ashley Babbitt, she probably is entitled to have a military funeral like Trump is giving her. But a lot of folks corrected me and said, no, if you commit felonies after you get out of the military, it could affect that. So I'm ignorant on that. I don't know.
The guy who shot JFK, he was military before. He had an honorable discharge. Then he went and shot JFK. So should he get one too? In that same sentence?
I get your point, but it's a big difference between what Ashley Babbitt did and somebody assassinating the president of the United States. That's a big leap. Even though Ashley Babbitt was breaking into the Capitol building, what she was doing was wrong. I'm not going to put her in the category of, what is it, James? I'm about to say, no, Wilkes is the one that took out Abraham Lincoln. What was the guy's name that took out Kennedy? I forgot what it is. But anyway, I'm not going to put them two in the same category.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm just saying, but if you're committing a crime, you're committing a crime. Yeah. Like you lose that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just lose it. It's just what it is. Like say you get out and say you're selling drugs or whatever. Like you're gonna lose your whatever benefits you get. They're gonna see you committed a crime. You're gonna lose your military, medical, and everything else.
Yeah,
that's just what.
To me, that's crazy because if I go and fight on behalf of this country, I'm serving in some of the hot spots like Kabul in Afghanistan or Fallujah in Iraq. I come home with PTSD, and that leads me to whether it's getting hooked on opioids and getting charged with a big drug crime or whatever else may come out of. Some of these guys come home and they beat their wives or whatever because they're so fucked up in the head. I don't think you should hold against them the fact. I think they should still receive honors for what they did while they were in the military. Because a lot of times the only reason they're so fucked up now is because of what you put them through in the military.
Well, the military will have to give a fuck when they leave. They don't. That's how they don't get help. They have to fight for their medical. They have to fight for their money and everything else. And they don't just come out and be like, hey, okay, so this is the first week out. Here's your check. They got to fight for that.
Yeah, that's crazy, but that is true. I remember when I lived overseas, I would go into the club, like anytime the U.S. sailors would come over, I would always hang out at the clubs they were at because, of course, all of the women come there and things like that. And that was my pickup line is, I don't have to leave in 3 days. I live here. But that was one of the things because the Australian military would be there too. And they used to make fun of that. They're like, your country treats you guys terrible. I mean, the pay is, your pay is not great. Your benefits. I mean, they used to say that all the time. And not to mention, they're sending you guys to war. We're not even leaving the country a lot of times. You guys get treated terrible. They even know how bad the U.S. military treats our people. And it's probably because we are involved in so many wars that if you treated everybody in this country properly that's been in it, we will go broke because we're all, I mean, Trump is about to send people to Venezuela now. I mean, somebody's going to get hurt and injured from that. I mean, somebody's going to get PTSD. I mean, we're constantly always going into conflicts.
Well, he's the one who said he wasn't going to start any war. He was just going to end them. But besides that, so remember when he had the military like rolling out the red carpet and all that
For Putin?
in Alaska?
For Putin, yeah.
Yeah. You know that same week we had to stop like 3 spy planes from going over Alaska?
Russian spy planes?
Type it up. Yeah. Wow. We sent jets out. Like you could try the brand new TV right there.
I believe you.
We send out jets because I think it was like 3 days. They just kept flying over and we had to keep going up there.
Well, one thing, a lot of my liberals don't like when I say this, but one thing I do give Trump credit for is he's able to do a lot of stuff that Biden got hit over the head with. Whereas like you said, the jets going over. Well, when the balloons were going over under Biden, that showed he was a weak leader. Or making threats and not following up on them. When Obama did that, he was a weak leader. Trump is able to do a whole lot of things, and people don't view him the same way. I mean, obviously, the red line in the sand that Obama made. Trump has made multiple threats that if Putin don't do this or don't do that, we're going to get him. And Trump is not following through on any of this stuff. So Trump does get credit for being able to do what other people have done, and it's caused them a lot of trouble. And his side is like, okay, well, I mean, even the Epstein thing, they were banging Biden over the head for, we need to put somebody else in there that's going to be transparent, that's going to tell us what's going on with this. Trump get in there and pretty much said, stop talking about Epstein. No, not a big fuss from MAGA. We moved on, and we're not even talking about it anymore.
Yeah, and then he sent his personal lawyer to go talk to her by himself. Like, yo, just say this. We're gonna give you a little cushion deal, and probably when he's out, he's about to leave, we'll get you out. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
it's crazy how you got the red carpet out, and then he's doing spy shit to you, like right after. While you put him in the beach so he could test that out, see what's inside. He probably asked the questions like, yo, how many bullets are in this car? What you got in here? Like, what you got? Like, where's the blood tank? Like, in the back? Like, underneath something? Like, let me see it. Matter of fact, let me see the football. Can I see the football? Can I play with the football?
Yeah, but you're talking about Putin when he put him in. Yeah, because I looked at that too. I'm like, you gonna put Putin in the beast? I mean, I'm sure he in this car looking like that. What kind of security measure? I mean, you actually put him in the presidential limo?
He's not a regular guy.
He's
not like a regular Joe who just walks around the street. He's ex-KGB. He's analyzing everything. He's in here.
Yeah, but
he won't even shake people's hands.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That if Obama or Biden would dare put somebody like Kim Jong-un or Putin in the beast, the right would go apeshit about doing something like that. But Trump does it. Hey, that's negotiating. He's playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. He's able to do stuff and get away with it that mere mortals can never do.
Yeah, like say if that wasn't my daughter, I'd be dating her. Crazy shit ever.
All right, I gotta move it on, Nate. But interesting times we live in, man. I do appreciate you coming on here, though.
All right, cool.
Good talk. Thank you. Now that was interesting. That man took notes. I like that. He had a few gripes to pick with me on some things that was said yesterday. I don't have a problem with that. And very, very cordial conversation. Thank you there, Nate. Duke was definitely, what does that say? Dude was definitely had a camera. Oh, so you're saying that when Vladimir Putin got in the beast, he probably had some kind of secret camera on him. I don't know. To me, that was a major security flaw for Trump to put Vladimir Putin in the beast. I don't know what. I mean, this is an enemy. Vladimir Putin is an enemy. This ain't somebody that, this is not just any world leader or Jacques Chirac of France or, Angela Merkel of Germany. This is a straight up enemy you put in the beast. I don't know why more folks on the right are not criticizing for that. Because as I said, we know damn sure the same folks that are okay with Trump doing that would be going apeshit if Biden or Obama done something like that. That just putting them in the presidential limo. Wow, that's diabolical in my opinion. Putin just like Jason Bourne to KGB. You know what KGB does? Yeah. Well, I'm just simply saying shouldn't have happened. And as we can see now, some 2 weeks out or more, I don't see where Trump, because Trump tweeted out or took the Truth Social and said it was a really good meeting or whatever with Putin. Have any of you seen anything at all that was produced from that meeting that would give Trump the justification of saying it was a great meeting? Putin has now went on to meet Xi Jinping of China. I think what was it yesterday or earlier this week? He don't went on and met. He's in China meeting another one of our somewhat adversaries. They're probably going to be starting to make trade deals now that Trump is imposing his tariffs everywhere, and India is facing a huge tariff for dealing with Russian oil. These countries are going to start doing what anybody would do. If you're going to play like this, we're going to start finding new people to play with. That's what they going. That's what's going to start happening. These folks are going to start coming up with ways of separating themselves from the United States. Everybody was just kind of feeling comfortable that if the United States was, in a take charge position, everybody would be all right. I think Trump has came along and kind of upset the balance of that because Trump has came along and said, "I'm about America first. I'm not about keeping global." Well, he's tried to intervene in some wars, but I mean, getting rid of USAID and stuff like that. I mean, he's kind of come along and said, we're going to focus more on us. So the things you've been used to getting from America and how they've been treating you so nicely, you're going to pay your fair share under me. You're not going to get anything, that you don't deserve under my president. Well, and if you tell me that, then why the hell should I just let you be the world leader? I mean, if I was letting you do this shit because you had my back or you were overlooking me not contributing as much to NATO, you were kind of working with me on stuff. So I didn't mind letting you be the leader, letting you be the world's leader. But if you ain't gonna give me nothing special, then goddamn it, you gotta earn what you asking for. So that's where I see that relationships may be altered going forward after the Trump administration. I'm looking in the comments real quick. By the way, folks, this wasn't really meant to be a live. I was just wanting to test my backdrop, but I'll bring a few of you folks up, some of my subscribers. Gangsta Grandma.
You always be fluffing. I shit you not with your bald headed ass. You stay fluffing.
What? This is
I
a.
cannot. You are fluffing. Oh, give him credit 'cause he's breaking the law. Give him credit, he's a pedo. Give him credit this. Give him. What the fuck, man? Like, come on.
I love me some Gangsta
Like,
Grandma. Look,
damn,
this is a test live, Grandma.
I don't give a damn if it's a whatever fucking life. Your ass is fluffing. You know what? You know what? You are a maggot from hell, aren't you? You really are.
What
You
the?
truly are a fucking maggot. Because I tell you, you got that. Yes. Oh, you'll be loving maggots. You'll be loving maggots. Well, you'll be loving maggots or pedos. You'll be loving maggots like incest. You'll be loving maggots or colonizers. And they are racist. Because you know what I got told today? That if I'm proud to be woke, I am a racist. These motherfuckers are on Trump's dingling so bad they don't even know what woke is. The motherfuckers stole the damn word and don't even know what woke is. Did you know how dumb and mental deranged they fucking are? Oh my god, the orange Jesus said they're all woke. Well, I'm proud to be fucking woke. But these dip fucks from Alabama and Kentucky and all the little white tea asses, they think woke is racist.
I
That's
don't.
who you be fucking with.
Well, that's a different conversation, but I don't think they believe
No,
woke.
it's not,
Yeah,
Pookie.
yeah, yes
It's
it is.
not.
Yes it
That
is.
see that all that shit is that is your little beloved maggots. You need raid.
I need what?
Fuck you be saying beloved. You need raid to wipe their asses out. They're like cockroaches. They never die.
Well, first of all of my MAGA viewers and callers are not bad people like that. What do you call them, roaches and all that?
Yes, they really are.
No.
Yes, they really are. Let me tell you something. They still rocking with this man, all right? They still rocking with him, okay? They are fucking the enemy of the state. They are enemies. What the hell are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? They're racist and no good for nothing. The hell? One of them is going to go to a parents, a maggot family, just raped the 11-year-old daughter, had a baby in the damn house, and then the mama is pregnant, and that was a maggot family.
Yeah,
Go fucking figure, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't apply to every.
Please don't tell me they're not. They ain't. They're so nice people. No, they fucking not.
I didn't say
Christian nationalists.
I didn't say they were nice people, but I'm simply. I mean, there's some nice liberals, there's some mean liberals. I'm just simply saying that all MAGA is not racist, like you're trying to say.
They are racist.
All of them.
Yes, if they're still standing with the orange tangerine, you know what? I swear, you know what, Tim? I shit you not. I promise you. Do you realize this? That a lot of the country was wishing him to go to the pits of hell this weekend. They're making memes of the orange tangerine. I mean, doesn't he realize that he's hated? That this motherfucker is hated. He's so hated. Oh, the only ones that love him is the ones that like it up the ass without a condom. And then over here say, yes, master, and I want the whips with it. You know what I mean?
Well, when you ask, does he realize he's hated? My answer is not only yes, but that's the goal. He wants you to hate him. I mean, he brags about liberal tears and fuck your feelings. I think the goal is to be hated.
Though, he's saying, you know what? How ignorant these motherfuckers are on the right. Let me tell you something. When he says going after the libs, we can take the shit. We're not the ones on welfare. We're not the ones on food stamps. We're not the ones that are in red states that's going to get FAFO pretty damn soon. Okay? Because guess what? The blue states will not fund them no more. Because guess why? Because guess why? Because we're going to go take care of our own. Because if we don't have to pay for food stamps no more, or Medicaid, why do we got to pay for them then?
So what are you
So
what are you suggesting, that the blue states are no longer going to contribute to federal tax system?
Why should we? He's cutting the shit out, right? That's the only reason why we take care of they broke bummy asses. They're broke. Well, and then we're going to say, you know how fucking crappy they are? Oh, the blue states. Yeah, we're banging in the money, sweetheart. We're banging in the money. We take care of your broke asses, your white trailer trash asses, just to get technical.
Yeah, but if you end up trying somehow, some way to not have to have a blue state that's not contributing to the federal tax system, to me that's like the precursor to secession or some kind of war or something like that.
Oh, well. He said he hates the libs, right? He said, I want to stick it to the libs. Why about the libs? The blue states stick it to his ass. And here they go. Oh, she's racist. Let me tell you something about being racist. You motherfucking colonizers always cry about who's being racist when you motherfuckers are the racist ones. You guys colonize people. You guys take shit from people. You guys degrade people. But when I call y'all bitches out, I'm a racist. You bitches don't even know what racist is. Because you're too damn special. And you're a special dropout. You guys don't even know what that fucking is. Yep, I'm proud to be woke. Okay? You motherfuckers don't even know the definition of woke is. Fucking Riri.
Yeah, some words do get demonized or used for advantage. I mean, to me, two of those words would probably be woke and patriot. I mean, we've made patriots so that your politics is what determines whether you're a patriot or not. And that,
you know what? If they say that these motherfuckers are patriots, they're full of shit. They're full of shit. None of the maggots are patriots.
Well, I was told that Ashley Babbitt was a patriot.
She's a traitor. And she better not get no damn military fucking thing, especially if, let me tell you something, that she got what she deserved. You know, you go to the Capitol, you break a window, you try to go into the window, pew pew. Oh well.
You think
One maggot gone. One maggot gone. Okay.
you think Ashley Babbitt deserved to be unalived?
Hell yeah. You do it. You do it. You know what I mean? Hell, they don't give us no sympathy. Well, what do we hear the white tea people, the maggots say? Oh, well, if you would have obeyed, you wouldn't have got pew-pewed, right? Well, if the white tea bitch didn't, if she would have obeyed instead of keeping a little white tea ass up in and being a Karen, thinking she big and bad, well, she would have got pew-pewed. Oh, well.
Well,
Fishing up those damn daisies. If the popo said stop, you didn't stop. Oh, well.
Well, some are going
It's a
to
waste.
some are going to suggest that Ashley Babbitt was unarmed and she's a 4 foot something woman, very small woman.
Well, like they tell us black folks. Well, if you would have listened, and they think, well, karma's a bitch, isn't it?
No.
Oh well, Pookie.
I don't know. You drive.
Did they really want a cookie? The trash got taken out. Oh well.
You.
And I wish the orange tangerine would get taken out too. Hallelujah. You know what? We'll be dancing. I promise you. If he croaks, we're going to be dancing in the streets. It's going to be a celebration. And you know how lovely that would be? Popping the champagne bottles and celebrating the Wicked Witch is dead. You know what I mean? Like, hello.
You're going to celebrate the demise of someone.
Hell yeah. The tangerine needs to get squeezed. Damn it. I promise you, it needs to get squeezed. And you know what happened last night? Yeah, I went the fuck off on your black ass.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I got so frustrated last night, right? I had some good shit. I tell you what, and these maggots can't even afford my shit, right? I had some good shit. I couldn't feel my fucking legs. I couldn't walk up. I'm at my ranch.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like that song, I Can't Feel My Legs When I'm With You. You couldn't feel your legs? It was that potent?
I mean, honey, honey, let me tell you something. I felt everything last night, but not my legs, though. Let me tell you, Tim, I was so frustrated. I promise you, I can't do that shit no more. I'm not a young chicken no more. Man, I couldn't walk up my stairs. And I'm on vacation. I'm at my ranch. You know what I mean? I'm in New Mexico. And let me tell you, honey, baby, I was so fucked up last night after I got done talking to your ass. Because you got me so pissed off that I had to really get cross-faded. Because I want to go through the phone and choke you like Ghost fucking damn dad. Yeah, you owe me an apology. Because you over here telling me that Trump is better than our Miss Harris.
I said Trump's resume is very competitive compared to Kamala Harris.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Tell me, okay, let me tell you something. No, it's not. See, that's why I know you are ratty coonie. Because let me tell you something. She beats his ass up and down. All you gotta do is put them two together. She whopped his ass at the debates and everything else. That little bitch walked out like a little puppy dog. You know, with his tail between his legs. What the fuck is wrong with you?
He walked off with the presidency. Trump is your president.
Well, you know why? Let me tell you, he ain't my president, bitch. He might be yours, but he ain't mine. But let me tell you something. If you think that he's better than her, then you're smoking some C word. Oh God, you are.
I said competitive. I gotta move it on, but he's
not. No. For one, let me tell you something. He's not competitive. And let me tell you this. You're going to get cussed the fuck out. One of these days, you're going to meet your match.
One of these days? You've been talking about choking me in there. What do you mean, one of these days?
Yeah, I do want to choke the fuck out your neck, you skinny. Ratty Tully? Because your ass is like I don't understand a black man bobbing on this white man that don't give two fucks about you, just worrying about the other white man, not even the poor trash of white people he was worried about, but they still voted for him. And you over here bobbing like he's going to do something. Oh, give him credit for this. Give him credit for that, Ratatouille. And you ain't shit neither.
I give.
And then you got somebody in your life right now, in your thing, saying that you're a leftist. That you're left. I said, well, he's supposed to be left, but your ass is smoking like an old-ass white man wearing a maggot hat. Well, you drinking that much bleach, aren't you? You're trying to get that whiteness, huh?
I gotta go. I gotta go. Gangster
Yeah,
grandma.
I bet you do.
Appreciate it. Real quick in the comments, and by the way, I do lean center left. I think you guys have heard my politics enough. Now, I'm not one that everything about Trump is awful. He's a monster. No, if he deserves credit for something like securing the border, I give Trump credit for that. That does make some folks on the left make me, that leads them to believe I'm some sort of sellout or something like that. But no, I lean center left. I just believe that you should give credit if somebody has done something that deserves credit. If Trump had of ended the Ukraine-Russian war in 24 hours like he promised, would he not deserve credit for that? I mean, I give him if when he does do something that I feel is worthy of credit, I give him credit for it. So that, like I said, a lot of folks on the left don't like that. Scooty Scoot said a reality show star versus a career law comparable seriously. Well, here's the difference though. If we were comparing the resume of Kamala Harris to the resume of President Trump in 2015, I think Kamala Harris had him beat hands down. Attorney General, District Attorney, U.S. Senator, Vice President. But once President Trump had been an actual president, now you're comparing the resume of somebody that actually I've served a full term as president on their resume. It's competitive at that point. I'm not saying it's better. I'm not saying it's worse. It's competitive at that point. Remember, if we're gonna just go by Kamala Harris's resume, her resume shows she was significantly more qualified than Barack Obama. I mean, Barack Obama went from community organizer to U.S. senator, basically. I mean, he was a law professor or something like that. I think he taught constitutional law at Harvard or something. But for the most part, he didn't have a resume commiserate to somebody becoming president. I mean, in fact, Barack Obama's resume before being our commander in chief for 8 years, his resume was significantly weaker than President Trump's. Trump ran a bunch of businesses and shit like that. Obama really didn't have much on there. He was a community organizer. He had taught constitutional law, and he was a U.S. senator for only like 2 years or something like that. Obama really didn't have a resume of any significance. And he turned out to be a much, much better politician than Kamala Harris. And many would have also say he was a better politician than Trump, if you ask, depending on who you ask. But the resume don't always tell the tale. Because I personally believe Kamala Harris was not a really good candidate. I think she was not a good candidate. To some of the things she did, like avoiding podcast when people were all going to that, saying she wouldn't do anything different than President Biden when he was doing poorly in the polls. I mean, she didn't make for a good candidate, in my opinion. So you can have a good resume and still not know what you're doing. Whereas I think somebody like Barack Obama was just a natural. He was just a natural. He knew how to talk to people. He was charismatic. You just felt good hearing him speak. He knew what to do, even though he didn't have the resume. It's kind of like somebody who spends years in acting school, learning learning the ropes of becoming an actor. And then some other dude just walks up there and he just steals the show. Some people are just a natural. Some people don't need training. And I think Obama was that kind of person, just a natural. Whereas Kamala Harris, despite her resume, a lot of folks say she didn't come off as being authentic. She didn't feel authentic. Even a lot of folks in the black community tell you she don't feel authentic. Now, I don't know if it was her authenticity. I think to some degree, race was an issue. And I'm not talking about white people viewing her as a black woman. I'm talking about black people not liking the fact she had a white husband. So she was facing racial issues coming from both sides. So I think that Obama just felt far more authentic than Kamala Harris. So there you go. Looking in the comments though, that's what intelligence will do for you. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm just looking in the comments here real quick. Yeah, but you're talking about being good at campaigning versus being good at governance. The GOP have always excelled at campaigning. I don't know. Well, was George W. Bush a really good campaigner? Ronald Reagan was. I don't know. In terms of, I don't, it's hard to know what Kamala Harris would have been like in terms of governing. I don't know if she would have, you know, 'cause you're talking about campaigning versus governance. I mean, she's a VP, so it's hard to know. As a senator, you know, was she really known for much as a senator other than, you know, making the tie vote during Biden's term? So maybe she would have been good at governance. I don't know. Like I said, with Obama, the whole Bill Clinton, I feel your pain type sentiment. You feel Biden. I mean, Obama rather. You felt Obama. Obama could resonate with crowds, unlike Biden and Kamala Harris. Trump can resonate with MAGA really well, but he does things that are deliberately inciting to his opposition. So he doesn't resonate with everybody. Whereas Obama, even the people that did not like Obama, you know, yeah, but he speaks very well. He's very professional. So he was able to resonate with everybody. Whereas Trump likes to be a troll and things like that. So he's only going to resonate with the people that like him because he's deliberately doing things to incite hatred towards him from the other side because he likes to troll a lot. Tell Kamala to put the fries in the bag. You know, she's on a book tour right now. She got a $20 million deal. So just think about that when you're talking about put the fries in. How much you getting paid? She's getting a $20 million book deal right now that she's about to go on tour to promote. So the put the fries in the bag thing is, it might be funny to you, but she's making a killing right now. $20 million. The person who's going to have the biggest book deal, Melania Trump. People are going to want to hear what she has to say because she knows shit. Melania Trump knows a lot more than we know about President Trump. My guess is Melania Trump's going to be paid an awful lot of money, either to tell what she knows or she'll be paid an awful lot of money to keep her mouth shut. But Melania Trump's probably going to make a fortune when she leaves the White House because she knows a lot. General Milley should have ran. The problem is Trump dirtying up candidates has a lot of power. I don't care how much you accomplished throughout your career, how much you were respected throughout your career. If Trump starts attacking you, MAGA's going to not like you. In fact, I can't think of anybody. I can't think of anybody. Well, yeah, I can. Governor Kemp of Georgia. Governor Kemp of Georgia is one, but when I say I can't think of anybody, I can barely think of anybody that Trump has been outspokenly critical of, and their political careers have survived on the right. If you lean right and Trump starts attacking you, your days are numbered. In most cases, they end up resigning, and that's the end of them. Governor Kemp of Georgia is probably the only. He's the find me 11,000 vote guy, and he spoke out against Trump, and Trump really came at him. Trump started endorsing Stacey Abrams. He was going after him so much. Well, Governor Kemp is still there and still has respect of at least the Republicans in his state, I believe. But generally, if Trump starts attacking you, your days are numbered on the right. I mean, the right, MAGA's going to go with Trump. I don't care if MAGA has liked you as a politician their whole life. The minute Trump starts saying things about you, MAGA's going to be like, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. Since we here, tap the screen. Since we here, give me on up to about 10,000. Maybe it'll help out the algorithm. Gavin Newsom 2028, huh? Go the I don't well. Gavin is patterning himself after Trump. The trolling, the insults, and the liberals are liking it. The liberals are like the whole Michelle Obama, when they go low, we go high thing. A lot of folks are liking what Gavin Newsom is doing because the go high thing has not been working. So a lot of folks are liking Gavin Newsom. Gen X, fuck around and find out. Good evening.
What's up, brother?
Not much at all. Just tested out my backdrop, and I saw a few people logged on, so I figured I'd rap to them for a minute.
Nice, nice. I'm moved into my new place. Place looks awesome, dude.
Cool.
I just bought my own place and I'm pretty fucking happy.
Can't argue with that. Now you up in you are you in a rural area? You in Montana, right?
Yeah, I'm in Helena.
Oh, Helena. Okay, so that's not that rural, is it?
Yes and no. It is, but it's not.
Okay. You got any black people living out there?
Uh, yeah.
Really?
Why wouldn't black people live out here?
Helena, Montana? I mean, there are, there are places we don't go, we're not located at. I'm surprised to hear somebody living in.
We have black folks, we have white folks. Look, we don't care about anybody who lives by the rules. Black people are welcome.
Yeah.
I love my black community. I love my white community. I love my German community. I love my Indian community.
Well, in regards to not liking people, I mean, Betty, in regards to not, people say they don't see skin color. We don't. People have always said that. Yet America has the history it has. So I'm not talking about you personally, but when people always say, well, I don't see skin color, we don't care about the skin. Then if that's true, then how did America get the horrible history we have? Because they've always said that.
Well, I can answer that very easily. America's made a lot of mistakes, man.
Well,
America has made a lot of mistakes. Now, that doesn't mean that the mistakes carried on to who we are now. But yeah, you're right. America has made a lot of mistakes, my friend.
yeah, I don't think it's necessarily.
Carry on.
I don't think it's necessarily America's made mistakes. I think it's more lying. I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter what era you go to in U.S. history. America was denying racism even existed. I mean, even during slavery, you're getting a free place to stay, you're getting free housing. And I mean, we've always said this is not happening. The statement you just made, I don't care about skin color. People were saying that any era in history you go back to, people were actually saying that.
Oh, if you're talking 150 years ago, yeah.
I'm
You're 100%
talking
right.
shit. I'm talking
But
50
today,
years ago. 50 years ago.
Today, my friend, we don't care about skin color. Who gives a fuck what color your skin color is? You know what I care about more? I care about the merit of your character. That's what I give a shit about. That's why I invite you to Montana all the time, Tim. I would love for you to come out to Montana, break bread with me in my new place, have dinner, chill, and I think you'd probably leave a conservative.
that might take a bit much. I don't know what the conservatives are offering to make me switch over because there's a reason why I vote left, and it's because of a lot of policies, and I don't see me going.
All joking aside, even if you didn't leave conservative, you would leave with respect and someone that would make sure you got home safely.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I don't have a lot of business being in Montana though. You live in one of the corners of the earth. I mean, Montana's not, and certainly like you admit, this part is damn near rural anyway. So Helena, Montana, is it mountainous out there? It's pretty mountainous.
What is that? Is it what?
Is it a lot of mountains out there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got. That's why I'd bring you out to the mountains to go shooting. No, I wouldn't shoot you because you're black. I'd bring you out shooting, barbecuing, having a great fucking time, my friend.
You wouldn't be like hanging out with Dick Cheney.
No, not at all.
All right.
I would not shoot you by accident.
Okay.
Brother, I have a lot of respect for you, even though we don't agree on a lot of shit. I think you're one of the people that challenge my ideology, and honestly, I like that.
I appreciate it.
I like that because you make me think about shit, and I think that's what good, healthy conversation is supposed to be.
I got a individual in the comments, Gangsta Grandma, said, tell him to say the Proud Boy oath. Do the Proud Boys have an oath?
I'm a Western chauvinist who will never apologize for fucking supporting the modern world. Yeah, that's our oath.
That I'm a Western chauvinist that will never apologize for what?
I am Gabriel Reed. I am not I am a Western chauvinist who will never apologize for building the modern world.
Building the modern world. Where does that come from?
Well, that's just the Proud Boy credo, man.
Okay.
And Gangster Grandma, fuck you. You're a psycho nut. Man, you know what? I'm going to talk to you like you talk to everybody else. I don't care what the hell you say. You're a fluffer. You're a fluffer.
Wow. I don't know where to go with that. I do not know where to go. Gangsta Grandma is passionate in her opinions. She swings hard. But
She is. And you know what? I've learned to listen to her. I don't agree with her, but I listen to her. I used to always sign out when you had her on. But you know, now she actually says some stuff that's spot on. But the attacks and the shit she says to you, dude, I'll snap you upside your head. Bitch, you ain't slapping nobody.
You can't. I don't know if I told you this before, but when you do that, you remind me of the old DJ Wolfman Jack. You sound like I don't know. Some of you folks are probably not old enough to remember who Wolfman Jack is, but you
I remember.
Yeah, you sound just like Wolfman Jack when you do that. Listen, when it comes to Gangsta Grandma, you know, some of my guests, she is a bit over the top, but is that not what we voted for? You like you said, she says some things you kind of agree with, but it's the delivery. Isn't that what we voted for?
Yeah, she's very passionate, and
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
and yes, I will give her that. She's passionate, and she says some shit that I agree with. And yes, to answer your question, that's what I voted for. Yeah. I want free speech. I want people to say what they think, and that's why I started listening when you have her on here, because it's about free speech. Yeah. It's not about speech that I hate. Speech that I hate is irrelevant.
Well, what about this whole notion where Trump is now trying to outlaw flag burning? That's free speech.
No, flag burning is fucking treason.
How?
If you go to any country in the Middle East and burn their flag, those motherfuckers are gonna fucking hang you. They're gonna fucking hang you.
Did you just catch yourself there?
Yes, sir. Out of respect. Out of respect.
God, what is this all in the family? No, but let me just say this though, because when you said if you go to another country like the Middle East and burn the flag, bad things will happen to you. But keep in mind, if you went over there and you flew the Nazi flag, things will happen to you as well. And we're 100% okay. It's 100% legal to walk down the streets of America flying the swastika, preaching nothing but hate. And people say, well, if you burn the flag, you're disrespecting the military. The Germans actually killed tens of thousands of military people. Yet you can walk down the street with their flag, and that's legal. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, 100%.
How?
Because we don't kill people. We don't take out people for freedom of speech. If that's your position, you're allowed that via freedom of speech, and I respect that. I don't like it, but I can respect it.
So you view burning the U.S. flag as treason, but flying the flag of the enemy that killed a whole bunch of service personnel, that's free speech.
Yes.
That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, you're either about respecting the people in the military or you're not. These are people that killed them in droves. So burning the cloth is bad, but flying their flag, to me, which would absolutely be an act of treason, which should be, I don't understand how people can designate the difference between that.
I do. If you burn an American flag, you're a fucking traitor. And you should be held accountable.
Yeah, but flying the flag of the enemy is not a traitor?
No, flying the flag of the enemy is a traitor.
Right. So shouldn't they be treated the same way as the flag burner?
No. No, because you've got that right to fly the flag of the enemy if you choose to. Hence the First Amendment.
You got the right to burn the flag too. You got the right to burn the flag. Hence the First Amendment.
hold on, what you shouldn't have the right to do is burn our flag in America. If you burn an American flag, then yeah, you should be held accountable, and it's not okay.
But you can walk down the streets of it.
If you go to Saudi Arabia and you burn a Saudi Arabian flag, you're fucking held accountable. If you go to Saudi Arabia and burn an American flag, well, that's okay because it's not the Saudi Arabian flag.
Yeah, but if you go to Saudi Arabia and you're waving the flag of one of their cardinal enemies, that you're going to be held accountable for that too. I mean, I don't understand why burning the American flag is bad, but waving the flag of the enemy on U.S. soil is considered free speech. If you can accept people waving the flag of somebody that's killed tens of thousands of Americans, I don't see why burning the flag should insult you that much.
Because I'm an American.
Okay, you're not a Nazi, right?
Well, that's debatable.
My heart goes out to you. Gen X, I got to move it on. My heart goes out to you, man. Thank you.
All right, brother.
All
Love
right.
you. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right.
And, hey, come visit me on my streams.
Anytime. Support the program. Drop a galaxy every now and then. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Peace, brother.
All right. Looking in the comments then, what about putting Trump's face on the flag? Like I said, people are picking and choosing. It's just like with Trump sending the National Guard potentially to Chicago. People just picking and choosing what they want to make an issue about. That's really what it is. It ain't really based, in my opinion, on any real concern. People just pick. If you were okay with somebody walking down the streets of America flying the flag of the enemy, me personally, I don't think you have any credibility in arguing about burning the flag. Because, like my last caller said, if burning the flag is an act of treason, but flying the enemy flag on U.S. soil is not, something's really fucked up with that. Something has to be really messed up with that. Because people have their ancestors that died at the hands of these people. Ain't nobody died at the hands of somebody setting a flag on fire. Tens of thousands of people have died at the hands. To me, the Confederate flag is the same way. Both of these groups, the Germans and the Confederates, their goal was killing as many American soldiers as possible. That was their actual goal. In the Confederates, they were trying to kill Union soldiers, but they were trying to basically break up the country. They wanted to take out Abraham Lincoln. I mean, they were trying to harm as many U.S. soldiers as possible. I don't see how that's not a problem, but just burning the cloth, that's really, really bad. That just makes no sense to me. That just makes no sense to me. I wanted to see what you would say, says Nate. Yeah. Real quick. The Confederate flag was a blue square with a crack with a circle. Look, let's just say the one that they're calling the Confederate flag now. Let's just go with that, okay? I mean, I get it. The stars and bars was a battle flag or something else. But when people say the Confederate flag, you know what they're talking about. They're not talking about any of these other. They're talking about the stars and bars. If the stars and bars has been improperly named, so be it. But you know what they're talking about, though. Thank you, Satan. I love this world. Damn. There were 8 white stars in a circle in a blue square with whatever the flag you're talking about, nobody flies that anymore. I'm talking about the one that's pictured here on the screen. When people talk about the Confederate flag, this is the flag that people are thinking about. Now, if that's not the actual Confederate flag, so be it. But this is the one people are thinking about. So we'll just go with that. To me, if you're flying that flag on U.S. soil and that's okay, but burning, and by the way, some people stitch those two flags together. You can actually purchase an American and Confederate flag stitched together as one element. I don't see how any of that stuff is okay, but burning the flag is suddenly all of a sudden treason. People pick and choose shit. They know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Well, you're speaking about a battle flag versus the flag of the Confederates. Okay, fair enough. But you know what I'm talking about. I'll just leave it at that. You know what people are speaking of. Just like when people say democracy is at risk. When we're a republic. It doesn't matter. The point is there. You know what the hell they're talking about. Correcting it to go from democratic elected government to republic. You know what the point is, though. You know what the point is. You want it to be worded right. I get it, but the point is the point. Let me see in the comments here. We'll go back to the box. MAGA reacts. Good evening, MAGA. They can burn. They can burn together just as well. Yeah. MAGA reacts. Good evening.
Hey, what's up?
You got an
I
echo.
like the new setup. You have an echo?
Yeah, you got echo. Okay,
How
there.
about now?
That's better. No, it's still it's something. It's going in and out. Let me see. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
No, I muted it. Let me see if I can grab a pair of headphones or something. Is it still echoing?
Not too, but not. I hear it a little bit. It's real low though.
Let me see if I can turn you down. How about now?
What are we having a testing 1, 2? Yes, you're muting. You're still echoing, man. You're echoing.
All right, bring me back up. I'm gonna get a pair. I'm gonna call you from my other phone.
All right, do that. I'll drop you. Go ahead and do that. In the comments, King Finn says, just like you had twisted on here last night, for an hour twisting that bullshit to make a point. Yeah, I hadn't talked to Twisted for a while. You know, I like to talk to my MAGA guests every now and then, and I try to give MAGA a little bit of extra time. But that we talked really long. I get it because I was about to wrap the show up, and it just went on. But that ain't normal. We don't normally have people on that long. That cheap ass iPhone says King. Can you hear me now? Cope harder about your stupid battle flag. Who cares? MAGA bot. Somebody in the comments don't like that. The Confederate flag is nothing. The Confederate flag is nothing but racism and inbreeding. I guess you say nothing but racism. Well, the right tries to suggest that the Confederate flag is all about pride and heritage. I'm going to tell you flat out. I personally, the right can disagree with me, the left can agree, or whatever the case. Yeah, I personally do see the Confederate flag as a symbol of hate. I know some people, it's my heritage or whatever, but if you truly believe that that flag represents your heritage, and you are willing to speak out anytime somebody tries to take down a Confederate statue or a Confederate monument, but you don't say shit when somebody's using the flag while preaching hate, then you're part of the problem. And I'm saying this with the most sincerity. There's plenty of folks that show up anytime they talk about taking down a statue or taking down a monument. You saw what happened in Charlottesville. You see Trump renaming the bases back at the Confederate. So the folks who support the Confederacy, they know how to protest. They know how to speak up. But all of a sudden, somebody walks down the street with the Confederate flag preaching hate. Dylan Roof goes into a church and shoots up 9 people while wearing the flag. I mean, most hate groups, at least the ones that are white oriented, have that flag somewhere within their ranks. And you don't hear the folks who support the Confederate flag making much of a fuss about it at all. So based on that, I've come to the conclusion that it's a symbol of hate. You know how to defend your heritage, but you ignore defending it when it's being used as a matter of hate. So that, to me, that leaves one conclusion to come to. You don't mind them doing it. There is no major outcome from the supporters of the Confederacy anytime somebody, I mean, you can go back 100 years and people were already using that flag as a symbol of hate. Whether we're talking about the young little black girl that was going to a school getting integrated for the first time, whether we're talking about driving down the street with a bullhorn preaching hate in black neighborhoods, trying to not get them not to vote. In every case, somebody is waving that Confederate flag around. I mean, people had it, they got the flag there. So if you want to truly say it's about your pride and heritage and it's about your family ancestry, why aren't you saying anything about that? They're making your ancestry look really awful. You only seem to know how to speak out when somebody's trying to say take down the statue, but preaching hate, okay, that's totally fine. So then, like I said, it makes it look like then you're okay with it. Flying the Confederate, what does that say? People in what would have been northern states flying the Confederate flag, how is that heritage? Well, they may have, listen, I'm from Chicago, born and raised. My mom was born in Memphis. My grandparents are from the South. I mean, you could be in the North, but still have ancestry in the South. I mean, so theoretically, you could be living in Michigan, still flying the Confederate flag. And I wouldn't surprise me, it wouldn't surprise me at all if there were people in the North during the Civil War that favored what the South was fighting for. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, one of the things that the North was fighting for was equality. The South didn't want that. So there are probably people in the North that didn't want equality either. There were probably people in the North that were willing to let the South have what they want. So it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all that people in the North are flying the Confederate flag. I had a black buddy from Georgia, and he loved that flag. It was on the Georgia state flag. He loved it. Well, I'll tell you this too. And I don't know anything about your friend from Georgia. I don't know anything about that. But I will. I don't know. You say he likes the flag. There are some black people that wave the Confederate flag, but there were also black people that fought on behalf of the Confederates in the Civil War. The point I'm getting at is some people don't have proper education. That's all I'm saying. If you're fighting on behalf of the Confederates in the Civil War, what do you think they're gonna do when they win? You think they're gonna give you some medals as a black man? I mean, so some people don't realize that they're preaching out or speaking out on something that goes against their own best interest. I mean, and then of course you tack in or you take in consideration how poorly our history was taught, how a lot of things were omitted from history or downplayed. I grew up watching, let's say, the Dukes of Hazzard. When I was a kid, I didn't hear anything negative about the Confederate flag. Nothing at all. I didn't think twice of seeing that flag on top of that car. Because our history was not telling us the true history of the Confederacy. Only after people started learning what they really were about did it become unpopular. But for most of America's history, they were able to really downplay a lot of the atrocities they committed. So I could certainly see black people walking around waving the Confederate flag and things like that. But just go ask one of them. When you hear the phrase "the South will rise again," do you think that includes you? I mean, people, a lot of folks in the South, a lot of the Confederate folks, the South will rise again. Do you think if the South rise again, you're gonna be doing really good down here? If as an African American supporting that movement, it's the education that's the problem. So basically, we want to take parts of history that we don't like. Now that's what Trump is doing at the Smithsonian. That's what America has done. No, I'm not saying take away parts of history that you don't like. That's what a lot of folks that support the Confederacy states that the liberals or the African Americans or the anti-Confederate people are trying to erase history. No, I'm fine with the Confederate stuff being available, but I want you to teach history properly. If you go look at the average Confederate statue or monument, the guy sounds like a fucking superhero. Everything they tell you about this dude is good. That would be like a statue of Hitler telling you about how he created the Volkswagen and how he strengthened the economy in Germany back in the late 1930s. Don't mention nothing about the Holocaust. Don't mention none of that shit. Just make him sound like a fucking superhero. That's what you see when all of those monuments, all of those Confederate statues and monuments, they have a little plaque at the base of it. That shit just sounds, this was a great dude. This is a great guy. They don't tell you the truth about it. So when you question whether people are erasing history, I'll submit to you that the people that are putting up the statues are the ones that's doing that. They're not being honest to you about this person. They don't want the negative stuff to even be known. They're only telling you positive stuff about somebody who was literally fighting on behalf of a group of people that wanted to treat people like shit indefinitely. None of that's coming up. You're just a little guy fighting against being taxed improperly by the big guy. That's how they word it. Make the guy sound like a superhero. So when you say that, you guys are trying to erase history, no, tell the shit accurately. Then I'm good with it. There is a difference between educating people on the horrors in our history and praising their horrors. I don't look. True, but America was trying to eliminate you even knowing about the horrors. We're not talking about praising them. We're not talking about. We're talking about America would rather not even. Didn't Trump just say that the other day? We're focusing too much on slavery and all. I mean, just literally, some people don't want you to even know about it at all. Just completely remove it from history, so like it's never happened. That's what I'm talking about. When you read these Confederate statues and the information they present on the guy, it makes it sound like this was a decent dude. This guy wasn't fighting on behalf of anything wrong. He was just, fighting the right. He was fighting a good fight. Is the way they make it sound. That's not teaching history accurately. So if you're not going to teach it accurately, then yeah, take the damn statue down. If you're going to leave it up, teach history accurately. Teach history accurately. That's all I'm asking. I don't think that's too much to ask. Democrat Confederate statues. Quit ignoring their Democrat statues. I don't understand why these Democrat statues are being fought so hard by Republicans. Why Republicans are so eager to preserve these statues. They're wearing the flags and shit. Republicans got Confederate tattoos and shit on. Democrats, obviously something changed. Obviously something has happened. Whereas it was all Democrats, and now 100% of the support they're getting is coming from the Republican Party. And it goes way beyond just simply trying to maintain history. You're putting tattoos and shit on your skin and all of that of this shit. So yeah, you can say Democrats, but don't ignore the obvious fact that somebody switched something. Somebody changed something there. Um, you don't want to. Somebody said, "So what, Tim? I don't get the issue." Well, the only issue is lying about what happened, trying to preserve the Confederate statues and memorabilia while not wanting to be honest about what they actually stood for. That's where the problem is. And like I said, in my opinion, I do believe the Confederate movement. I do believe it's a movement of hate, and it's just simply based on how the folks who support the Confederate stuff act. If you can show up to protest them taking down a statue, or you can complain about them taking down the name of a military base, but you can have groups of people walking all throughout America preaching hate while wearing that flag, and you don't say nothing at all, then to me it looks like you're totally okay with people preaching hate. The minute the liberals start saying something against the Confederate flag or the statue, no problem putting the liberals in check. No problem setting the liberals straight. But somebody go and stand on the steps of town hall in some small city and preaching nothing but hate while waving the flag around, suddenly there's nobody there to say anything about it at all. You're totally okay with that, even though they're doing it in your very own neighborhoods oftentimes. Some of these guys are in rural, some of these groups are preaching hate with the flag on them in Alabama. They're in Mississippi doing it. And nobody shows up to say, look, stop ruining my heritage by preaching hate. Nobody shows up. So to me, it definitely comes across as a symbol of hate just based on how the folks who support the flag are acting. Um, you cool with the pride flag in schools? I don't. First of all, let me make it clear. I don't put the pride flag or even a Black Lives Matter flag, because some people bring that up. They're not in the same category as a Confederate flag. I mean, we've had whole wars and shit over the Confederacy. I mean, the Confederates sought to break up the nation. So, uh, what are gay people known for? Getting together and partying and shit. I mean, other than just not liking the LGBTQ community, they're not known for doing anything awful. I mean, it's other than just not liking them. I mean, should it be in schools? I don't know. Look, it's for me personally. If they took pride flags out of schools, I wouldn't care. If they put them in schools, I wouldn't care. I could go either way on that. I absolutely don't see the LGBTQ community as a community of hatred. They preach love. So if you want to take the pride flag out of schools, like I said, I don't have a problem with it. If you want to put it in schools, I don't have a problem with it. But I don't put that anywhere near in the same category as the Confederate flag or the stars and bars or what. I think they're totally different. Oh yeah, trans stuff for kids. The fuck is wrong with you? Somebody said. Hey, look, I would. basically echo that back at you when you got Trump talking about putting the Ten Commandments in schools and the Bible in schools. Fucking religion has abused way more people than the transgender community ever has. How many times do I have to say this on this fucking live? If you are okay with your children being around Christianity, but you're talking about I don't want trans around them, you're fucking backwards. The Christian community has done way more damage to kids. Literally, grown men having sex with lots and lots and lots of kids. And then other grown men hiding that they did it. That actually happened. The transgender community, that's what you think. You think they're bad for kids. This is actual documented shit that actually took place. So if your goal is to protect children, and you're okay with your children being around Christian figures and shit like that, then you're not actually serious about it. Now, if you said I don't keep my kids around, I don't take my kids to church or around the LGBT community, then you would be somewhat consistent. But the right is overwhelmingly pro-Christian. And that religion, Mormons, Catholics, Baptists, that religion has all sorts of people, Lutheran, that have abused children by the thousands. But no, it's the transgender community. We need to keep them away from the trans people. Let's leave them with the priest, the one that actually has been doing shit. To me, it's backwards as hell. That's all I'll just say. Your argument is a fallacy. I don't know how. Only way. Let me just say it like this: the only way my argument is a fallacy is if you do not realize, or you are ignorant and you won't admit all of the abuses that children have sustained at the hands of various Christian churches. If you don't know that, then yeah, my argument will come across as a fallacy. If you know that, but you don't want to admit that, then yeah, my argument will come across as a fallacy. But if you actually know what happened and you're trying to somehow make it sound like the transgender community is more, your child is at more risk around the transgender community than all of this shit where it's actually happened, then you're calling me a fallacy just for the sake of doing it. No one's denying that. Then it goes back to what I'm saying then. I don't hear the right talking about keep your kids away from religious institutions. I don't hear that at all, even though they have a lengthy history of doing it. Some of that shit goes back a century. I hear them talking about keeping your kids away from trans, where there's barely a handful of kids they can come up with. So that somebody explain to me how that makes sense. I don't get it. Explain to me how that makes sense. How you're okay with your children going in religious institutions where they got a history of being abused. MAGA, you tell me that. Tell me how that makes sense.
I mean, it depends on the church, and
Does it depend? Does it depend on the transgender person?
Yeah, that too.
So
There's
you're
a lot of normal.
right. So it's okay to leave your kid around some transgender people then.
I mean, if you know them, if they're family, if they're a good friend, yeah, it's fine.
Do you agree with what I'm saying though? That in terms of sheer numbers, the church has abused way more kids than the transgender community ever have.
No, I don't agree. I mean, semi-agree.
Why do you semi-agree with that?
Because no matter who you leave your kids with, there's a risk of them getting abused.
That ain't what I'm asking you. I'm talking about documented history of trans people abusing kids versus documented history of churches abusing children. You think they're equal?
I don't think they should be compared. It's like the Chicago thing. That's the reason I came up here.
Okay, even if you don't think they should be compared, do you think they're equal?
No, I don't think they're equal.
Which one is greater?
I don't know. I don't know.
You really don't know that. You really don't know between
the subject. I know you're passionate about it.
No. You don't have to be passionate about it, but I think you know the answer. You just don't want to give it. You really don't know which one is abusing more kids between the transgender community and Christianity religion. You don't really know that.
I mean, I'm gonna hit you with the same shit you gave me the other day. It's all about per capita. So per capita,
Okay,
the churches haven't
explain
done
that.
anything.
Even per capita, it don't. Even per capita, it just doesn't resonate at all. There's no way you're going to make. Most people could barely name 5 well-known cases of somebody of trans abusing a kid. There are whole churches where they were.
I mean, it's more like, how many cases of porn hurting someone do we have?
We're talking
You know?
about no, we're not talking about porn. We're talking about actually abusing a child and physically, like literally entering a kid. We're talking about this is what they were doing.
Yeah, but the worry about with trans people is not, it's not their physical abuse. It's their pornographic nature, where they're they're wearing nothing, dancing, twerking in front of children. It's more the pornographic nature and the influence on the kids that people are worried about.
So you think you think the pornographic nature and the influence on children is comparable to actually going inside of your kid?
I mean, it's a weird comparison, and like I said, I've never.
How is it weird? How is that weird? This is what happened.
I mean,
let me say it this way. If this is just too uncomfortable for you and you would just rather not admit this, we can move on. We can go to something else, because that's what it sounds more like, is that you know the answer, you just uncomfortable admitting it. If that is the case, we can move on to something else.
Like, this is an issue I have with you often. You ask me questions about stuff I haven't even thought about, and then when I answer it, people are like, "Oh, you're what do they say? I'm fucking stretching myself, or I'm pivoting, or they say I'm like defending the subject, but I don't even care about the subject."
But whether you thought about it or not, do you realize the Catholic Church literally paid out thousands to victims for doing this? I mean, people were being held accountable that have already died after abusing. I mean, the length of this stuff has went on, like I said, nearly a century. Unless you just ignored the news over the last 20 years, you should know the answer to this.
The way I see it, if there was a church like as big as the Catholic Church that's like 100% trans, it would have the same issues. I mean, you talk about such a large entity, you're gonna find every kind of person and every kind of evil in something that big, and it's really hard to compare like such a small thing of like 100 people, or it's not 100 people, such a small minority to a giant church that is all over the world.
I don't even have a response for that. You would.
I mean, if there was a trans church, and
there probably is.
Catholic church, you don't think they would have any abuse problems?
No, because there are plenty of churches, unlike, let's say, the Catholic Church. I mean, like there are some. Well, to some degree, religion in itself has always been used to abuse people, whether it's for political gain, whether it's for financial gain. Religion has always been that way. So if you had a bunch of transgender people that was using God as a message, yeah, you're probably right. Probably a bunch of them would be abusing people, but they don't.
I mean, it's not even about the church or anything, or them being trans or anything. If you have something that big, it could be work, it could be, it could be any kind of entity. If it's that big, there's gonna be
I don't know, because
evil people of all kinds.
I don't know, because I don't when I look at things like Walmart, that's a big company, or let's say Chicago public school system or something like that. The church has far more abuse in it than whole public school systems for major cities.
This church has more abuse than the school system.
It does.
There's a lot more teachers than priests, so there's no
and there's nowhere near as many.
Get caught for it.
Yeah, there's nowhere near as many teachers being accused of doing things like that with children that the priests were getting. Yes,
there was. There's a lot of teachers. There's a ton of
there's a ton of teachers, but it
just doesn't make the news like the Catholic Church does.
Yeah, I got, like somebody in the comments, King Finn said, you just need to do research on this, because not only were the priests doing this, but then you had the cardinals. It was going all the way up to the top where they were trying to hide what was going on. It would be like a teacher abusing your kid, and then the principal knowing about it, moving the teacher to a different school so you couldn't get justice for it. There's no history of
Yeah, that
school. There
happens.
is no history of
That
schools doing that.
That's because it's not really, people don't care enough. I mean, they
There
care
is
about the church
there
more
is
because
history.
it's
There
supposed to
is
be a holy
histories
place.
of
But
yeah.
there's a giant list of teachers abusing students. I mean, that's Google it. There's going to be 1,000
Yeah.
results, 1,000,000 results.
I don't have any.
That's a bad example, Tim.
I
A
would
lot of
just tell
teachers abuse
you.
their kids.
I would just tell you. You don't have to take my word for it. But between our conversation, do a little research on teachers abusing kids, and then do a little research on the Catholic Church and the Mormon Church abusing kids, and then you come back to me and make that same argument.
Yeah, there's no way any church, just in numbers alone, there's a lot more teachers. I mean, we're talking about every school system, and there's a lot more schools, a lot more everything. There's only one priest to a church. There's like 100 teachers to a school. So just in numbers alone, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more abuse cases for schools than churches.
Yeah, and it's
It's just math. I'm like, this is just simple math, you know?
Yeah, and the thing about it is you're wrong because in the schools, the teachers know they'll get in trouble. In the churches, they were getting protected by doing it. So that's going to encourage more of it. You don't need as many numbers when you know you can get away with it. They were getting away with
What
it.
about like in business and, you know, all the workplaces where the bosses abuse their employees and, you know, make them, you know, exchange sexual acts for promotions or for whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
I don't know.
that's another example that there's a lot more abuse in the church. There's abuse everywhere. Any entity that's going to be large is going to have a lot of abuse in it. It's just because there's a lot of people in it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what kind of entity it is.
Like I said, it's something that I would encourage you to do research on. Certainly, when we're talking about comparing the churches to the transgender community and suggesting that the transgenders community is harmful to kids, but you want your child to have a Christian-based upbringing, like Christianity has done way more harm to kids. I mean, just far more harm. Not to mention, even when you talk about the influence.
Like I said, so the schools are going to stop sending my kid to school.
Depends on the school. I would agree with you.
By teachers.
I would actually agree with you. Even when you start talking about so with schools, that just goes to show you how much the transgender community is getting railroaded. You send your kid to a whole lot of places that are more dangerous and hard. School, like you mentioned, even school. You send your kid far more places that is harmful to your child than hanging around transgender. The transgender community overall, compared to all the other shit your kid goes to, is fairly safe. It's fair. You just don't like them.
Tiny. If it was bigger, it would have the same issue.
Okay.
If there was many trans people as there was, like,
but it's not. It's okay. Fair enough. But it's not. So the few of them that exist, there's no need to be avoiding them like that. Because there's no major instance of these people going around abusing kids. It's not bigger.
The issue is not avoiding them. We just don't want them to try to
avoid
the
them.
Kids.
I don't want
Other than that, I got no issues with them personally.
What would be your definition of avoiding? I don't want the flag in schools. I don't want my kids around them. I don't want them reading about them in books. I don't want my child having any knowledge. What's the difference between that and avoiding them?
I mean, avoiding them is like banning them from schools outright, saying they can't be at school at all because they might influence a kid. That not letting them do a that's kind of
what's happening. When the teachers are now being told if the child wants to identify as let's say for instance your name is John and you want to identify as Jane, and the right wing areas they're saying you can't do that. They are doing that. They are banning them like that. I mean, we're going to continue.
Okay, we're talking about. I'm talking about adults and like regular people. Also, that has to do with like the welfare of your own child. You know, it's not about being hateful to a random stranger, which is what I'm talking about.
I'm saying you said it would be different if they were banning them. I'm saying they are being banned. If you want to go by a different gender, some of the right wing states are saying your kid can't come to school and go by a different gender than they were born as. They are banning them. I mean, Trump stated that if he got elected, he was going to ask Congress to identify only two genders and go by your gender at birth. They are banning these people.
Yeah, that would be discrimination. If what you're saying is true, that would just be discrimination. That's illegal. You can't say that a kid can't go to school because they want to be trans.
No, I'm
But you
saying
could say,
if
I don't want my kid to have a presentation on trans whatever,
yeah, I don't
and
think
I don't
I
want to
think there's
talk
a
to him.
very slight difference between banning them and discrimination or whatever you're saying. I mean, because if
Anyway,
you're
I,
getting
we
discriminated
gotta
against, you're
move on
essentially
because
being
I'm gonna get my
banned.
ass banned from TikTok again talking about this, and it's not even a subject I care about.
All right. And I see in the
Um,
comments, Gen X said that's what I voted for. I gotta move it on. I'll give you the last word. What are you about to
no,
bring up real
the
quick?
whole reason I came up here is your analogy from the other day. I was talking about crime in Chicago, and how you can't compare it to St. Louis, and you said
I don't want
something
to go
about
into that.
boxing and heavyweights. Like you can't, you have to have different classes, right? And I'm like, that analogy kind of supports my argument
Well,
that Chicago
your
is a
whole
heavyweight
argument,
city, and you can't compare it.
your whole argument when it comes to addressing crime is that per capita doesn't matter. That's what you said, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the quantity matters.
Yeah. So when it
I think
comes
the
to
quantity matters more than per
yeah,
capita,
but
and
if
Chicago has the most in the
yeah,
country.
but if you don't go by per capita, whether it's farming assistance, whether it's federal funding, if you don't go by per capita, the small areas are gonna get fucked every time. Chicago's gonna win in everything. If you per capita don't matter, then no matter what you're dealing with, whether you want a hurricane relief, whatever it is, the small area is gonna get fucked because, as you say, per capita don't matter.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is the total, like, no, what you're saying is the total number doesn't matter because per capita is small. I'm saying they both matter. And they definitely matter when you're comparing a city to itself. Anyway, the whole point I'm trying to make today is like St. Louis and all these other cities are kind of like featherweights, and you're comparing
So
them to
then why is he
heavyweights.
talking about sending the National Guard to Baltimore then? If per capita don't matter, why did he skip from Chicago to Baltimore and not go to Los Angeles, New York, or Houston?
I mean, I haven't looked up Baltimore, but I looked up
It
like the
ain't the
biggest
fourth
city.
largest. Baltimore is not the fourth largest city by any stretch of the imagination. I mean,
No, you
so
might be wrong when it comes to Baltimore.
he's
Although
wrong. He's
Baltimore has a
wrong.
history.
Period. What he is doing is something you don't want to admit. It ain't about solving crime. It's about sticking it to the damn liberals and using crime as an excuse to do it. As long as you live in a Republican state, it don't matter how bad the crime is there. He's not coming. That's what he's doing. He's just using crime as an excuse to do it. But the end goal is sticking it to the liberals. If Chicago,
Well,
if Illinois puts a Republican governor in that state, suddenly he won't be talking about Chicago anymore. I mean, think about it. The fact that he don't even mention crime in Republican states at all. If you live in a liberal city in a Republican state, they don't even mention it. There's no excuse for that.
I mean, that argument might hold up for other cities, but I just don't think it holds up for Chicago. Like, I looked it up.
You're not answering,
Phoenix,
but you're not.
it has a
You're
lot of homicides,
okay,
even for its size.
but that
So you
that
shouldn't
don't
send people to
excuse but
Phoenix.
that does not excuse why they never mention Memphis at all. Like they mentioned how many murders were in Chicago this weekend. How many did they have in St. Louis? How many did they have in Memphis? How many did they have in Houston? You don't ever mention it at all?
Yeah, I think Houston's a good example on your side because Houston had like 320, homicides. It's still like nothing compared to Chicago, but on average, it's up there with the rest of the big cities.
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's
looked up
Chicago.
the
It's
biggest
Chicago.
cities in the country.
Yeah, it's Chicago
What's up?
derangement syndrome. It's tunnel vision on Chicago.
No, I think Chicago deserves it. Some of these other cities don't deserve it, but Chicago definitely deserves it. It's got the most homicides, period. And that doesn't include all the people that got shot. You guys have an excellent ER system.
Yeah, but
So a lot of people that shot.
Chicago deserves attention, but all the liberal cities and right wing states don't deserve to pass. I mean, there's no excuse for why you never mention it, huh?
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
A lot of
So that's plain politics. That's plain politics when you're doing that. I'm only going to, sir. And here's another one I would give you. We can talk about crime. We can talk about crime in liberal cities. What about poverty in Republican states, or lack of health care, or infant mortality rate? We don't talk about anything bad in Republican states at all. You just skip over all that, huh?
I mean, that's your side's job to talk bad, and then it's our job if the voters aren't happy to address it. I mean, are people happy with the crime in Chicago?
Are they happy with the poverty in Mississippi?
You're right. They should do something about it.
Right. So it ain't about nothing more than playing politics. I will skip over anything that's going on bad if it happens in a Republican state. You're not trying to solve crime. You're trying to stick it to the damn liberals. I mean, living in a state, living in.
You're
Hold on.
probably right, except for Chicago. I think Chicago has a huge crime
But
problem.
how many people are losing their lives in Mississippi just because they don't have health care and they're impoverished? I mean, you got to assume people are dying because of that. You're just skipping over that. Is that not an emergency? Is that not important?
I don't know the stats thing.
Right. You don't know because they don't talk about it.
You're right. I don't know the stats because it's not important enough for me to see it on TV, whether you're talking about left wing or right wing.
It's important enough for you.
It's the squeaky wheel gets the oil,
right? It's important enough for you. It's important enough to. It's important enough to address it. It's just your party is playing politics and ignoring it because then it will show that they're not doing everything right. It is the people in Mississippi are very important. They're American citizens.
It's the media's fault for ignoring it. If the media would highlight it, then Trump addresses everything they highlight.
Yeah, but it's also Trump knows the poor state. If you know Chicago is a shithole, or you know Baltimore is a shithole, you know what people in Alabama are poor. You know that. It doesn't take much to get a report on that. It ain't like he's that stupid. He knows that he's deliberately ignoring problems in Republican areas. He's playing politics.
I mean, I think it's like the crime in Chicago is more like there's more about it. There's more TV shows, there's more news articles, there's more everything when it comes to that versus, how poor some city in Alabama is. It's not him. It's the media's job to make noise and then his job to address the concerns of the people. If not enough people are complaining, how's he even supposed to know about it?
Well, first of all, the people in those cities are complaining. The fact is, the right has made Chicago a big example where they're keeping a tally on how many people get shot and how many murders happen in Chicago every weekend. But when you ask them how many murders and people are getting shot in your own cities, they don't even know. They're so focused on Chicago, they're ignoring what's happening. Like you got the...
Again, you're losing your argument with Chicago. If you would pick any other city, I would agree with you. But Chicago, no. It doesn't need our help to be famous for its homicides and murder and shootings and stuff.
There's a bunch of cities in America that are like that. There's a bunch of cities in America that are famous for their crime. That ain't just something related to Chicago.
No, but Chicago's really famous. And it's not even us. It's your side that has made it famous. You guys done everything. News articles, TV shows, comic books, everything. Where it shows how Chicago,
So he's acting based on TV?
City. Like, they used it as Gotham City in, the Batman movies.
Okay. Well, in my opinion, any excuse is better than none. I can come up with a million excuses for why we're going to ignore Republican issues and only focus on Democrat. I mean, yeah, it's on TV a lot. I don't know what's going on with my own people in Mississippi, so I'm going to go to a liberal city and help them out. I mean, we can come up with any excuse for why it's being ignored.
I'm in Miami. Why would I know what's going on in Mississippi?
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Trump.
It's on the news every day.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Trump. I'm talking about the right wing. Fox News knows what's going on in Mississippi. They got Fox affiliates all over Mississippi. They know them people are poor. They know them people don't have health care. They know the infant mortality rate is high. They know what's going on, but they're talking about Chicago.
But Trump's influenced by the people in general. So if most of the United States doesn't know about something, he's not going to address it. But if all of the country is complaining about the whole...
Why would that be? Why would that be that the whole country is complaining about Chicago and most of the people in the country ain't never been there? Why would that? You don't see the politics in this when you got somebody out in the middle of Wyoming talking about crime in Chicago?
It's the media, your own media, that has made Chicago famous. No. It's your newspapers. It's, your TV shows. It's everything. Right. Chicago has Chicago Med, Chicago Police, Chicago firefighters. It has, 3, 4.
So he's sitting around. So he's basing legislation off of TV shows.
No, I'm just showing why Chicago's famous for these things and not like some city in Mississippi.
But here's the problem though. If you want to say that, but it's what the media has made famous and the media makes Chicago. The media makes it known that kids are going to school and they're never coming home again. Why is he not declaring that an emergency? Everywhere, there are millions of people that will never go to Chicago, will never go to DC, but no matter where you live, you're only a few blocks away from a school that's practicing active shooter drills. Why not address that as an emergency, that all of our kids are in risk of never coming home from school again, no matter where you live in? Why isn't that an emergency?
I mean, because you're talking about every school in every city in every state in the country versus one city where you could simply send, a couple of thousand National Guards.
I thought heavy numbers matter. Now all of a sudden, well, it's easier to do. It's far more kids that are at risk of getting killed in schools than what's going on in Chicago.
I mean, every school should have a police officer. Every school here in Miami has at least one or two cops.
Do you hear Trump Trump talking about addressing this issue at all? Anything?
I mean, how do you want him to address it?
Does he even mention it?
I'm sure he does. I mean,
you sure he does? You sure he does? He doesn't. He does not mention it. He gives it thoughts and prayers, and he moves on. He does not mention it. Thoughts, just like
so does the media. I mean, the media is.
We're not talking about the. We're not talking about the media. Questions. Nobody cares about the media. We're talking about what the president is doing. We're talking about kids have a risk of going to school and dying.
Influenced by the media, and he's influenced. He's really influenced by the media. He's a media president. If they were asking him every day about children being unalived, he would address it. But they don't ask him about that. They ask him about other stuff.
So he don't know what's happening? He got to be asked by the media?
He addresses what people are complaining about. And the media is unfortunately still the voice of the people.
Okay.
I mean, don't you? I mean, that's one of the things I like about him is he answers what the people are actually complaining about.
You don't think people are complaining about people being lost in schools? That's all over the media. People are saying we need to do something more than thoughts and prayers. You don't think people are complaining about that?
I mean, they do, but they also move on really quickly too.
Because they ain't doing shit, MAGA. That's why they move on, because they ain't doing shit about it.
There's also no clear solution to this. I mean, the best solution would be just armed guards in every school, and any school could just hire one.
Have you heard Trump say that? Have you heard Trump provide any solution whatsoever?
It's not really his jurisdiction. Like, his jurisdiction is big stuff. His jurisdiction is
You don't think children going to school and they may not come home, that ain't big stuff to you?
I'm talking about solution. What solution can he do other than throw money at them?
I gotta move it on.
They still have to hire the cops.
Yeah, I gotta move it on. I don't know what you're talking about, but I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right. That makes no sense to me. It's big stuff. Anyway, looking at the comment, I don't know where else to go with that. Was Mr. Cotter's in? What does that say? Was Mr. Cotter's cities in Chicago or class? Welcome back, Cotter. I don't think that was based in Chicago. That 70s TV show. Nice way to change topic, Tim. There's no topic. We're not talking about a topic. This is me testing my backdrop out, and I figured I'd talk to a few of you folks. There is no topic. So we said change the topic. There is no topic tonight. Mississippi is last in education, infant mortality rate, healthcare, life expectancy, but first at inbreeding. Damn. Yeah, like I said, though, that's the thing. Look, if Trump want to bring down crime in major cities, I'm all for it. I'm not pro-crime. I'm all for bringing down crime in cities. But playing politics while doing it, I'm going to call that out. And what Trump is doing is playing politics. Chicago didn't vote for Trump. Everybody knows that. Chicago's a liberal city. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that Trump is transactional. If you look out for him, he'll look out for you. So the fact that he's going to liberal cities to lower crime and ignoring liberal cities in Republican areas, if he actually was doing this for something that he was trying to do good for, he was first start out by lowering crime in liberal cities that are in Republican areas. He would go places where the people voted for him. The fact that he is starting out in liberal areas, that should tell you that he's not doing this to be something good, because he's not known for rewarding people that don't look out for him. He's going to areas where people hate him. There's plenty of places he could go and he could lower crime in Memphis or St. Louis and all them places. Now, what my last caller is saying, Well, there's more murders in Chicago, so that's an excuse to ignore St. Louis or Memphis or any other Houston, Texas. We can ignore that because there's more in Chicago. You can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. You can dispatch the military to more than one place. He's not even talking about dispatching the military or doing anything about crime in any Republican state. And I've mentioned this before on the program many times. The fact that Tennessee, considering that they have a very violent city interstate like Memphis, the fact that Tennessee sent their National Guard to DC and they ain't done shit for Memphis is backwards as fuck. Cleveland is more violent than DC. Yet Ohio sent their soldiers to DC as well, and they're not doing anything about Cleveland. I mean, it's politics. If crime gets reduced, fine, but that's not the goal. The goal, they're playing politics with the men and women in uniform. They're clearly playing politics with it. Hey Tim, I think we found the next campaign slogan. Big stuff. No, you can't quote MAGA. You can't quote MAGA reacts. This school stuff is happening nationwide. It needs to be addressed nationwide. That's the federal government. Right. That's Trump's job. Addressing the fact that kids are going to school and not going home, that's more of Trump's actual job than flooding Chicago with National Guardsmen. That's where he should, I mean, not only is that more of his job, there are far more Americans that will be happy with the results. Solving crime in Chicago ain't gonna mean shit to somebody living in Spokane, Washington. That doesn't mean shit to them. It does nothing for them at all. Other than, as I keep saying, sticking it to the liberals. Maybe you got a Trump supporter that lives in Spokane, Washington, and he likes the fact that a liberal city is being flooded with unwanted National Guard and it's pissing him off. That to me is probably one of Trump's biggest accomplishments. Other than securing the border is one. I think securing the border is a huge accomplishment for Trump because a lot of Americans like that. Number two is sticking it to the liberals. I think his second biggest accomplishments in the eyes of MAGA is sticking it to the liberals. And the benefit to that is you can make a lot of people happy while really doing nothing to improve their lives at all. Sticking it to the liberals is just something people like. I like when he trolls the liberals. I like when he threatens Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship or, goes against Gavin Newsom and sends the National Guard in this city and pisses them off. Sticking it to the liberals is something that makes a lot of Trump supporters happy. It's easy to do, and it doesn't really help their lives out at all. But it's a winner. He's done it a lot. He's been really successful at doing it. Liberal tears. I like to make the liberals pissed off because my base really likes that. It's a lot easier to do that than bring down the price of groceries or end wars or any of the complicated stuff. They really like this. This is easy. So that is one reason why I think he does it a lot. Because as MAGA would say with Trump, it's Christmas every day because I'm pissing off another liberal today or tomorrow it's another one. That's an easy thing to do. To me, that's his biggest accomplishment from the MAGA side of the deal is that he stuck it to a lot of liberals. He's made a lot of liberals upset, angry, or took revenge on them. And I think they really like that. New York gave Trump a wedge. Then he ran to Florida with the other New York rejects. Yeah, New York kicked him out of there. People voting against their own interests. Well, but they like him sticking it to the liberals. He gets a lot of credit for that. So other countries are talking about us, bro, and they're talking about the Democrats. You guys are embarrassing. People make fun of you guys. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, that's bullshit, and I'll tell you why. Other countries don't look at us in terms of Republicans and Democrats. Do you look at the UK and make your decision on what you think about the UK based on parties? Do you do that about any other country on earth? How do you feel about Russia or how you feel about the Ukraine or how you feel about Germany? Do you make your decision based on parties? Nobody does that. If another country is looking at America and they're laughing at all of us. They're not laughing at Democrats. They don't know about all of that shit. They don't get involved in all of that. They don't make that, well, we like the American Republicans. We don't like the American Democrats. They're not looking at it that way. If America makes a bad decision and it happens to be a Democrat president in there while the decision is made, it's viewed around the world as America made a bad decision. They don't look at it in terms of Democrats and Republicans. Most of them don't even. You think they're involved in our politics that much that they know what party Nancy Pelosi is in and all of that shit? They're not looking at it like that. If Trump gets in there and imposes tough tariffs, they look at it as if America is imposing tariffs, not the Republicans. So yeah, that's not true. That's not true. Maybe some of the Canadians that are really close, like Canadians in Toronto or some shit, where they get a lot of American news and they know the difference. But nobody in Europe is looking at America in terms of politics. When I lived in Australia, for instance, I had people talking about American politics to me all the time. They didn't separate parties. They didn't like George Bush. I don't know why you guys elected George Bush. They didn't know what party he belonged to. Same thing with Obama. They don't look at it in terms of party. They look at it in terms of the whole country. Are you trying to make us feel? I guess you said trying to make you fail. How so? How would I be even had the power to do that? Are you talking for help with your homework? No. No, I got 3 college degrees and I have no intention of ever going back to school again. Trump's an embarrassment to the country globally. Yeah, and they don't look at it as if he's a Republican. Because I got friends overseas, they ask me all the time, why the hell you guys vote for him? They don't know who voted for him and who didn't. They view us as a country putting Trump back in office. They're not separating Democrats from Republicans. It's weird how many Canadians do know American politics as their show. Yes, because most Canadians are centralized in the southern part of their country. Quebec, Vancouver, Toronto, as I mentioned, Windsor. In all of those areas, you get American TV. You can get American TV in most of those areas with a plain antenna, just an aerial. You don't even need cable or streaming. So in them areas, they're getting American channels and shit like that. So yeah, they're going to know a lot about American politics because a lot of people in those areas frequently come into the United States and go home, go back and forth every damn day. Just like there's a lot more people in Tijuana, Mexico that knows about American politics probably than this in Guadalajara. You're right, it's right across the border. So yeah, Canadians know a little bit more, know a lot about it because all of their population is mostly in a part of the country that borders America. I mean, obviously, the further north you get in Canada, the more uninhabitable it gets during the wintertime. Most of the Canadian population is in the extreme southern part of the country. And like I said, in many of those areas, you can get American TV without even needing to have cable. You can it's the signal is strong enough you can pick it up. So they know American politics. But most other countries, they're not involved in our politics. Actually, Canadians are hurting right now. They complaining on YouTube, and some of them are breaking apart from Canada, and see you don't know what you're talking about. Well, yeah, because I disagree with you totally when you say Canadians are hurting. Americans are hurting too. I mean, you can find plenty of Canadians that'll tell you instead of me going down to Florida over the winter, I booked a trip to go into Mexico or the Caribbean. They're not hurting, they're just spending their money elsewhere. Some of them are hurting. I mean, obviously, with Trump imposing tariffs everywhere, there are going to be people in every country that he has tariffed that are hurting, including this country. Because there are plenty of people in this country now that are hurting because those countries are imposing retaliatory tariffs. Now, you can point out that people in Canada are hurting, but you're going to ignore all the people in America that are talking about they're about to lose their farms and their businesses because of Trump's tariffs. There's plenty of people in this country that are hurting. His tariffs have destroyed a lot of businesses in this country. I know Trump will tell you the economy is doing great because you don't focus on those people, but his tariffs have hurt a lot of Americans. When those countries impose reciprocal tariffs, Trump says it's going to be 30% tariff on this country. That country says we're going to put 20% or 30% back on you. Somebody in America is hurting because of that. When they fire back, somebody in America is taking that hit. You're not going to hear that on probably the media that you pay attention to. Go on YouTube. in Google, you'll be amazed at how many Americans are hurting because of what Trump is doing. Tourism is way down. I mean, whole flights and airlines are not coming to this country anymore from other nations that had tourists, not immigrants, tourists, people that were coming here to spend money and go back home, to help out American businesses and go back home. Vegas is hurting, Disney World is hurting, all of the tourist industry is hurting. You don't hear about that. Talking about Canadians are hurting. Imagine all of them Americans that have restaurants and hotels and shit that are hurting. Think about that. We don't hear about all the crime in Canada's large cities. Well, Toronto has a lot of crime in it. Toronto does have. Why would you be hearing do you hear about a bunch of crime in Munich, St. Petersburg, Russia? Why would you be hearing about crime in Canada? I assume if you live in Buffalo, New York, or one of those cities that is near Toronto, they probably talk about it, but why would you be hearing about crime in Canadian cities? I don't know. I listen to the gold people, not. I listen to the good people, not the bad ones. Well, I don't know what that means. I mean, your opinion of what a good person is could be, evil incarnate to somebody else. The only Canadians leaving are from Alberta. What do you mean by leaving? I know Canadians are avoiding this country. I do know that. They're all over YouTube telling you that they're not coming to visit America. They're all over that. So tourism is down in America, whether you want to admit it or not, but people are avoiding this country. Black Wing Zero. Good evening.
Good evening, Hans Liberal. Let me ask you this. Am I the only one that thinks anybody that's finding a Confederate flag, I automatically think they got a pew rack in the back of their car, they married to their cousin, they just had their wedding at Walmart?
Oh my God. Probably not. I don't see all of that in them, but I do believe it's a symbol of hate.
I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put it out there. If I see a Confederate flag on anywhere in your fucking car, I'm sorry to say it, I'm automatically think you fucking your cousin or your sister. I think you got the same motherfucking relatives. You got the Klan robe in a damn suitcase, and you always busted out. You got. Here's the thing. Your wife is wearing a bikini that can't fit her motherfucking ass, and basically going out with your Yahtzee damn tattoo on the back of your damn back. And I'm just going like, it's just me though. And for the black people that basically, I'm automatically thinking I'm automatically thinking you've been knocked over the head a few times and you just want to be white.
If you're black and you're flying a Confederate flag, my first opinion is you're ignorant.
Stupid.
Yeah, you're ignorant to history. That's what first thing I would think of. You're ignorant to history. I mean, clearly these people didn't have your best interest at heart. Why are you flying their flag? That doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, here's the problem I'm having with basically this, right? Lyndon McMahon is in charge of education. What is Trump's educational plan?
What is his to close every damn thing down?
And guess what? When we left education to the States, what were we?
What do you mean? You mean African Americans?
No. Yeah, we were getting escorted by the military.
Yeah.
What's so? I'm literally going like this. This is the first time I've ever in life seen a military parade for an old ass man that's shitting on himself, celebrating his 80th birthday when a military basically going like, he's only 79, but at least he's better than Biden. It was two old bastards running for president.
Yeah.
I was just voting for Kamala Harris because I did not want this old fucker to basically just to be in office because we already know what's going to happen. There was a whole 1,000-page book called Project 2025 that I had to listen to an audio book and literally have to read every single page. If you don't believe in the damn Project 2025 is a real thing, name one executive order that's not in that book.
Well, Trump denies Project 2025 though.
Oh, he could deny it all he wants. He also denied the base of the Yahtzees, but look what happened in Charlottesville.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm literally going like this. This man thought he also could get a black vote, but selling out a got off of Insurrection 3 that looked like he just got off of Temu for $29.95.
You got some analogies, man.
If any black people here's the thing, I'm gonna say this real talk. For any black person that bring them ugly ass got off with old gold sneakers to the cookout, automatically I'm going to basically roast your ass just for the fucking sight.
Them gold sneakers might be a collector's item one day, though.
dude, the new Aqua 3s just came out. The new Aqua 3 Jordans. The Aqua 3s, you can look them up.
Okay.
Aqua 3s just came out.
So what you saying?
Who would wear some god-awful, basically, Temu shoes compared to a...
Oh, yeah, I get that point. Yeah, I get that point.
It's already solidified as the #1 sneaker in America. And this is the reason that Nike put Colin Kaepernick as a spokesperson. You think you're slick. Because I'm really going like this. They did not want to lose that Air Force One money. They did not want to lose that damn Jordan money. Think about it. The average black American that basically buys in sneakers buys at least $300 a month. It went down from 1,000. Now it's $300 a month since the pandemic.
Wow. I mean, I get that the Jordan. Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously want to wear a pair of Jordans before I wear the Trump.
Back in the 80s and 90s, it's not even in the millennials now. Now it's Converse and Vans, which cost a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, I get your point. I'm going to want to wear a pair of Jordans more than I would want to wear the Trump shoe. But I'm saying I would just buy just have the Trump shoe.
He thought he was going to get the black vote because of it.
Oh, I think he was just talking shit. I mean,
I'm really going like this for Trump supporters. I want to say this for y'all too. Y'all say that we're basically, even handsome living, y'all say that we're the most dangerous people. 13% of the population do 50% of the violent crime. Here's what I got to ask, and I could drop the mark right here. Convince black women to vote red.
Ooh. I don't think they care about that. It ain't enough of them to matter.
No. Convince 8.4% of the community to vote red. These are the most women that you degrade. I don't even know why. There are some black women, because it wasn't a big percentage. It was like 2%. So I'm really going like this. For black women that did vote for Trump, I want to put this out here. Look at his rhetoric towards you, and you're still supporting him?
Yeah. You're not going to get black women likely to vote for Trump or for the Republican Party for quite a while. And I think that because of the Trump administration.
No, not ever.
Yeah, well, I won't say.
Not ever, because I'm going like this. Almost virtually impossible. And I'm going like this. Now, I'm also going with the Latino, because Latin women outnumber Latin men. So I'm really going like this, though, right? We could have a blue wave coming in because you just pissed off the Hispanic community and the black community. You pissed off the black community so much that we can't protest with our Latin hermanos and hermanas because they physically said, do not come out here. This is our fight.
I'm not seeing that. I talk to black MAGA all the time, and the black MAGA I talk to are very happy with Trump.
Yeah, because they in it for themselves. Let me say this. They black when it's convenient to them. I want to put this out here. They don't claim blackness in real life. They want to be so close to their master, they want to say yes. We've been seeing this since basic slavery time with the House N-words. And really, have you seen Candace Owens' rhetoric lately? Oh, she pro-black like a motherfucker, ain't she? Saying pro-Palestine and shit. So I'm really going like this. The proof is in the motherfucking pudding. Silk from diamond to silk. Give it a fuck up. Your girl's gone. Your man just made it into a roast Trump era. Byron Donalds, I want to put this out here. He didn't even pick you to be his VP. Same with you and Tim Scott. You mush mouth looking bastard. There should be no reason why that basically Tim Scott, handsome liver, got a better bald head than you. The fuck?
Entropy Corsi says, slow intro into military to the streets. Slow intro to military in the streets. How do you see that? I mean, do you think...
I live in California. Here's the thing. I live in California, and I live in Oakland, California. Do you know when the last time the National Guard was in California? And you know what actually did happen to them? They were in their drawers, and we jacked them.
What?
1993. The end of the damn Los Angeles and Oakland riots doing a Rodney King trial. This is too stupid makeup. I was, I think, 7 years old. I saw a Humvee in the 1990s on blocks in front of the house because the National Guard was activated in California, and it was the governor at the time that activated them. And guess what? All they tanks were on blocks. All they Humvees were on blocks, and they were sitting in their drawers tied up with twist ties, and literally left on the street because they said, and I quote, "Oh, we don't unalive veterans. We don't unalive veterans, but we basically killed our own. So y'all bring this here. Y'all know what's going to happen. They wasn't ready. We was."
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Under Trump would give them the authorization to shoot back.
That's the problem. So you're going to cause the world's largest unalive and the black and Latinos on your dime, and you expecting a red wave? You're basically saying that you're willing to go in the barrio and the ghetto and cause war against U.S. American citizens because you want to prove a point.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just simply saying. I'm just simply saying under Trump.
For all the Trump supporters saying frivolous spending, right now Trump is up to $315 million on his personal expenses alone. It cost $95 million to send him to the World Cup that he wasn't even invited to.
Shit. Well, that's our president, man. I got to move it on. Black Wing Zero. Good talk, though. Good to see you back on again, man. That's the president. Three years. You got 3.5 years almost of this remaining. Appreciate it. Somebody said that's what he wants. 71 million on golf. Has he really spent that much money doing that? 71 million. It's crazy how many people were wishing that this guy passed away because he hasn't been in the news. Trump has not been in the news of any significance since Wednesday, and people think he's sick. Look, his administration, excuse me, has released a statement saying he's healthy, he's fine. But look, I get it. I'm not going to pretend like I know what Trump's health is, if he's sick or not. I will just say this: if something was wrong with him, I don't feel confident that his administration would immediately tell you. I mean, I don't think Biden's administration would have immediately told you. If something is happening with Trump, because I think Biden had what was the guy, the Secretary of Defense? He was a black dude. And he ended up having to go for surgery. I think he had prostate cancer or something like that. And he disappeared, and he didn't even tell Biden he was in surgery for a day or something like that. They don't tell you the truth. When Trump came down with COVID, people on his administration later admitted he was in bad shape, and he was telling the public he was okay. So I'm not saying Trump is ill right now, but I'm just simply saying if he was, they're not going to be honest with you. And it is. Yes, somebody said, did you hear Giuliani was in a car accident in New Hampshire? Yes, I did. Apparently, Rudolph Giuliani was trying to break up a domestic violence incident. So he was being a good guy in this. That's because probably a whole lot of people were wishing for his demise as well. But he was being a good guy in this. He broke up a domestic violence fight or something, I guess, between a man and a woman on a highway or something like that. And once he did that, he got back in his car. And soon after, he was hit from the rear pretty hard by some woman, they're saying. So some woman, and this is a whole different, it had no relation to the domestic violence stuff that he tried to stop, but he had just broke up something successfully and got back in his car and was, continuing on his journey. And somebody hit him from the rear pretty hard. They said he has some broken bones in his neck. Some serious. I mean, he's hurt. He's hurt pretty good for this, considering how old he is. He got hit pretty good. So don't know, but yeah, I did hear about it. Real quick in the comments, someone stated that Tim, good evening. You should have asked your last caller, does he know Thugnificent? Does he know Thug? Who is Thugnificent? Is that a person? Thugnificent. Never heard of it. Never heard of him. But thank you for the super chat there. I don't look anything up. Okay, well, yeah, I heard it on News Nation this evening that Giuliani had been involved in a pretty rough car accident. I think he broke some vertebrae or something like that. So he's going to be down for a minute, but he wasn't in politics anymore anyway. Trump spends that much money just to feed flies at the golf course. Yikes. I haven't heard that. King Finn, what's up? Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Ooh, boy, I'm not gonna be triggered today, so I ain't gonna snap.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I'm gonna let you ride for that bullshit you pulled last night. You know you want some bullshit. You let that clown ass motherfucker talk for like 2 hours. It's all good. I get it. You want to let him get that goofy ass shit across, like you be letting MAGA get across, because you know damn well he was full of shit. He know he's full of shit, and the American public know he's full of shit. That motherfucker don't give a fuck about no damn kids. And that, I'm telling you, the next time that motherfucker get on, I'm gonna get my motherfucking fifth for Johnny Walker out the motherfucking cabinet, and I'm gonna play a drinking game called CDS. Chicago derangement syndrome. Because that motherfucker definitely got it. Every 5 seconds, every time he say Chicago, I'm gonna fucking drink a shot of Johnny Walker. Okay?
You're going to be fucked up. You're going to be fucked up.
By the time I get done fucking with him.
You're going to be fucked up.
That don't make no motherfucking sense.
I will agree with you. The right definitely has Chicago derangement syndrome. I get people that are talking about how bad Chicago is, ain't never been there, ain't never going to go there. Like, why are you so focused on this? Because your media keeps telling you about Chicago.
Yeah, this motherfucker in a trailer park in Miami talking about Chicago. Motherfucker, you need to be worried about Jacksonville. That's what you need to be worried about. You might want to look out for Miami, too, while you talking that shit. Talking about, oh, it's so bad up in Chicago. You know, Chicago PD, Chicago Med. Motherfucker, you watching TV. That shit is scripted. But unlike life, this is reality. Chicago is not the most motherfucking violent city in these motherfucking states. Please stop watching Shy. Black shows that you don't like any fucking way.
Well, when it comes to you are correct. Chicago's not the most violent city, but they're going on. Okay, look, there's 700 homicides in Chicago in a year. Nobody else has 7. So they're going by that. They're not going by the fact that this city is 5-10 times the size of your city. They're not taking in consideration the huge population.
City in America, third largest city in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
What the fuck are we talking about here? There are literal sides. It goes all the way up to what? 200 out there by Calumet? We not even talking about one part.
Well, I was born on the edge of Chicago. I used to live on 128th and Emerald. If you go over the bridge on 129th, you're in Riverdale. So I was right within walking distance of the edge of the city.
I know exactly where you at. I used to stay up off of 98 and True.
Yeah. So
what you talking about? Okay, so okay. So what we talking about here? But we talking about the same motherfucking thing. Maggie X got his ass in a trailer park off a dirt road down in motherfucking Miami. Fuck out of here. Fuck do you know about Chicago? All these motherfuckers talking about, oh, Chicago's so bad. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been downtown? Wait a minute. Maybe you went up to Wrigley Field. Did you stop down in the Lowe's in the 20s? Hell no.
But they do. But Macri X does have a point. It is the media, the right wing media, and President Trump. Having Chicago derangement syndrome. That's all they hear is the violence in Chicago. I don't care how many murders you have in St. Louis or Memphis. They're actually counting how many happens in Chicago.
Exactly. That's fucked up. Chicago derangement syndrome, like I said. Yeah. Secondly, I just find it really funny how all these people are talking about Chicago, but they can't do nothing about the motherfucking violence in schools. We can't do nothing about all these people walking around, these motherfucking rifles and all of this shit. All these pew-pews walking around shooting up, mass unalivings. But we can do something about motherfucking, Chicago, we better hurry up and do something about that. No, motherfucker, do your job.
Well, they can't do anything about the school shootings because when I say they can't do it, is because the answer that's required is something they don't want. If you took a tally around the world in other nations that do not have this problem, and just simply asked them, you guys don't have anywhere near as much of these things as we do. What do you think we could do to be like you? Everybody's going to talk about the gun laws. Like literally every other country's going to say the problem is your fucking gun laws. So they can't treat it because they know what the answer is. And they don't want to do that.
Too fucking bad. These kids is getting tired of that shit.
No.
I told you what happened down in Tennessee. I told you.
It ain't
legislators like little bitches.
It ain't enough of them though. It ain't enough of them though.
Beat their ass.
I mean, it's just like with the fact that we got a ton of people in prison in this country, and I think it's within a year. 50% of the inmates, within a year, 50% of inmates are back in prison within a year getting released, and 70% are back within 5 years. It's the same thing. If you went around the world and started asking other countries, you don't have as many people coming back to prison like we do. What should we do, or what would you recommend? They're going to all first start saying, quit treating them like animals. I mean, we know the answers to a lot of this stuff. We just ignore it.
Exactly. Like we can spend $41 million on fucking alligator Alcatraz, but we can't spend anything on mental health facilities for these so-called mental problems that these people have. That the kids feel unsafe because they run it into the school with the pew-pews, right? We can spend $41 million on
alligator Alcatraz, but we can't spend $1 on that.
I'm hearing alligator Alcatraz. I heard on World News Tonight a few days ago, alligator Alcatraz is expected to be empty in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that money.
So it's still 40. Wait, and this the bigger thing I got. Dog, that shit didn't cost no motherfucking $41 million. Did you see that shit? You spent $41 million on a campsite with cages. You spent $41 million on that.
I thought I heard it was 400 million.
Hey, whatever the fuck it was, it should have been over a fucking million. I could make the same thing with some shit I got from fucking Home Depot. What the fuck are we talking about here?
Well, you did have to bring in air conditioners, security. The thing here's a reason why it's like that. Because all of that's privately funded. Those are not actual U.S. government folks that are providing security and stuff like that at Alligator Alcatraz. It's not Blackwater. I forgot the name of the company, but there's a company that we hired, so it's privatized. The reason why it costs so much is America makes these big ass contracts with people that are probably associates and business partners of Trump, and we pay them whatever they ask for because Trump knows it's going to come back to him in the form of a kickback. So some of them contracts are probably overpaid.
Yeah, very overpaid. Kind of like the shit tater himself. And I agree with Black Wing Zero. The new Jordans just came out. Ain't nobody finna spend $400 on the shit tater ones when they can buy some J's, dog. That's not finna happen.
Yeah,
want the shit tater gold shit tater ones.
AI is saying that Alligator Alcatraz cost Florida taxpayers over $218 million in direct investments. It says to convert an airport into a detention center with at least $245 million in contracts for construction and operation signed by the state as of July 2025. But it concludes by saying the total cost was expected to reach an estimated $450 million annually to run the facility. So there you go, 450.
That is disgusting.
Yeah.
What? But they don't have $100 million for mental health. Ain't that some strange shit? They don't have $100 million for their quote unquote security of the schools. Then your boy just say they got 1 or 2 guards. I wonder what they paying them guards to be at the school to protect the kids. And why is it only 1 or 2 guards? If they got 1 or 2 guards there, a lot of this shit ain't making sense, is it?
I think it's making sense to me. I do believe that America does not care about what's happening to kids in schools. I think I think protecting our gun laws and our gun rights is far more important than trying to do something about that. So if it comes down to which one you got to choose between protecting our right to bear arms or making sure children are safe in schools, the children are going to take a back seat to that.
Well, I don't know because they already ready to let the shit tater be a dictator. So why not? Hey, why not do all the other shit? I mean, hell, if he can spend $71 million on golf, this isn't even the end of the year, is it? He's spending that money on just golf. We're not talking about
but who knows?
For how long?
Yeah, but who knows how much money the NRA is kicking back to these people to help them out? So they're not gonna do things about schools because the NRA. And somebody said in the comments, Tim is the gun laws in place of people having so easy access to them. That's the problem. And also, Linda McMahon ain't shit doing her job. Yeah.
I agree. 100% Linda McMahon ain't shit. And if you don't know what the fucking difference is in between A1 and AI, you really should not be a Secretary of Education. There's no way in hell you should be the Secretary of Education if you can't read AI. Damn, you can't get that little thing right?
Well, I don't think it matters because I think it's more that Trump is transactional and he's repaying people with cabinet positions, and this is something that most politicians do. But you should get somebody that's qualified. He's paying people back favors with cabinet positions. Everybody does that, and that's like Linda McMahon. He's probably got a big relationship with her husband Vince. And there's favors there, and if your wife wants a cabinet position, I can find something for her. That's what that is. Like Ben Carson was running for president, and he stepped down. Trump got his votes. I'll look out for you. I'll give you housing and urban development. This guy has no knowledge in that stuff. It's just a favor he's doing for her.
Was he a brain surgeon?
Yeah.
Wasn't he a brain surgeon?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Brain surgeon?
Exactly.
What the fuck does he know about housing?
Well, but I mean, I would say the same thing about Pete Buttigieg. I mean, he stepped down, Biden got his votes, and now suddenly he's over what was it for the roads and stuff like that. I mean, Pete Buttigieg got that job. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
they're just giving
I
him
think I
something
would
back.
choose Pete Buttigieg for transportation before I would choose Linda McMahon for education. I mean, if he doesn't know what to do, he's a politician, and I'm pretty sure he got some people around him that's going to tell him not to say A1 instead of AI.
Well, some of Trump's appointments are qualified. I mean, we may not agree with what they're doing, but I think Kristi Noem is qualified. I think Marco Rubio is qualified. I think she's qualified.
Kristi Noem.
Yeah.
You really think she qualified? I'll let you ride with that.
Give me something. Give me, unlike Pete Hegseth or Kennedy, Kennedy I think is a real bad choice. I don't know anything Kristi Noem has done. I don't know anything.
There's a bipartisan effort to get RFK the fuck up out.
Yeah, he's a real bad choice. He probably is deep. He probably is.
He's even said himself, you shouldn't listen. I'm not the one you should listen to. Yeah, probably not, because something been wrong with your ass, that froggy ass voice. Your whole family is like, this motherfucker shouldn't be doing the job.
Yeah, he probably by far, Kennedy by far to me is probably the most unqualified pick President Trump made out of everybody. And what he's doing is dangerous. He is by far the worst pick.
Didn't he just knock off all of fire all of the fucking people? Yeah. What was that? Not the CDC, but that was all of the people for. What was the agency? It was an agency that had to do
the CDC, the Center for Disease Control. The Center for Disease Control.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so it was the CDC. Yeah. Fired all of them. Said y'all all gotta go.
Yeah, to me, Kennedy would be like, announce the stewardess announcing we got a pilot that's gonna get us to our destination, and all of the pilots that happen to be on the plane that are riding in jump seats, like, shit, you let him fly, and they just all get up and walk off the plane. I mean, all of the doctors are like, I don't want nothing to do with this dude. I mean, so clearly the people in the profession are like, I don't want anything. I don't want my name. I don't want my reputation to be involved in anything in regards to this dude. I mean, so he's a real bad pick. He's a really, really bad pick.
And you blame them? Hell no. Also, the Canadians. Now, I've been watching shit about Canada and a couple creators on here that's been talking about Canada and the Prime Minister. I think it's fucking hilarious that y'all think Canada is hurting U.S.'s business, because they not.
The country's not hurting, but there are people in it. I mean, I'm sure Trump's tariffs, the lumber industry, the soybean. I mean, there are people in it that are hurting because of what he did, but no, the country ain't hurting.
But their moves that they've made recently hurt us a hell of a lot more. The steel yards down in Pittsburgh and the fucking the shipyards in fucking in Delaware are gonna be hurt way more because of those damn quote unquote manufacturing that they were supposed to get back. The Trump promised they was coming back with. Canada say, hell no, we don't want y'all to build our ships.
And that's what I'm most concerned with, is the long-term damage to relationships, and the fact that us as a superpower treating people like this is going to make them find ways to do stuff that does not involve us, and that's going to hurt us. I mean, like right now, Russia and China just met. I mean, he's causing people to form relationships that's going to be, we're going to be dealing with that long after Trump is gone.
Mm-hmm. India and China have sat down and talked as well.
Yeah,
they're rebuilding their relationship. Do you think that's good for America?
No.
Hell no. No, that's not going to be good for Russia and China sitting down and talking. That damn sure ain't going to be good for America.
Here's somebody that agrees with you. Handsome Sticky Fingers says Kristi Noem is good for cosplay and playing dumb. So disagrees with my notion that I think Kristi Noem is qualified. I don't like what she's doing, but I think she's qualified to do what she's doing.
She and that dude who he just hired, or that dude he just hired for the jobs report, are the two. Him, RFK, and Kristi Noem are the three most fucking unworthy people he's picked. And how the fuck you fire all the prominent black people out of the cabinet, but hire fucking people that are less qualified? I'm still back with that 4-star general, the black dude, the 4-star general he fired and put a 3-star major in his position. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on, man. That dude got over 40 years of service in the military. He don't know what he's talking about. But again, this is coming from the same president that back in his first term said he don't believe his intelligence operation, but he believed Daddy Putin.
Yeah.
Come on,
Well,
man.
but see, and that's because Trump is not being qualified for the position as Trump's. That's not Trump's number one concern. His number one concern is how loyal you are. He'd rather put somebody in that's more loyal than qualified. So if they're not quite as qualified as they should be, but they really are loyal to me, I'm gonna give them a one up on somebody who may really know the job, but is not totally qualified. I mean, not totally loyal.
Well, I guess, that kind of just goes to show you what happens when you put an unqualified president in fucking position. Because he ain't qualified to do shit either. He damn sure ain't qualified to sit in that fucking White House, and Captain Campbell's need to go ahead and leave. Oh, as well as, he's been, like you said earlier, he's been totally motherfucking out of spotlight since Wednesday.
Yeah.
There are pictures that they're showing of him with a double chin. Without the
His face looks swole. His face looks swollen.
Yeah. Like his ankles.
I disagree with you though, saying that Trump is not qualified. I think he's qualified to be president now. I mean, he knows the ropes. We may not like what he's doing, but he's qualified to do it.
I'm trying to figure out, before he did that first term, he wasn't qualified. He was a fucking game show host. Now he's at the second term, and they reelected his goofy ass over a person who's been in politics, or at least been in a legislative branch of government for most of her fucking life. Just like when he was running against Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. The last couple of people he's faced are all way more qualified than his goofy ass.
And but as I brought up, King, Obama wasn't qualified at all when he became president. He didn't have a resume worth for shit. He was a community organizer, and then he was a law professor of constitutional law at Harvard, and then he had been a senator for like 2 years, and he was campaigning that whole time. He didn't have a resume at all to be president. He turned out to be pretty damn good. So, I mean...
Run back that... Wait. Hold on. I'm going to pull your card.
Okay.
Run back to that constitutional law thing. You say he was a constitutional law...
He knew the Constitution. He knew the Constitution. That don't qualify you to be president, though.
So he wasn't trying to burn the Constitution or fuck it up, but he was learning about it. He was a professor of it. I think that kind of fucking qualifies him.
I think most of the presidents we've had have not been trying to. Trump is probably the first president we've had in a long time that's trying to challenge the Constitution in all of the areas here. I mean, I don't think Bush or H.W. Bush were trying to burn the Constitution. So, Obama knew the Constitution very well. But even though he may have known it more than H.W. or George W., I don't think that has a lot of relevance because they weren't trying to fuck with the Constitution either. Their lawyers would tell them what you're trying to do, sir, is unconstitutional, and they would back off of it. So you don't need to know the Constitution if you're willing to listen to your associates and your advisors that do know the Constitution.
I would agree, but it's Trump.
No, Trump is trying to push the envelope as far as he can.
Exactly, and trying to get as much money in his pocket as he can.
He's making a killing. He's making a killing.
It pissed me off, and I was triggered earlier when you had asked that question about the transgender people versus the church people. And I just kind of wanted to tell you, damn well he was full of shit. Everything he was saying, he was full of shit. Come on now, you know that. He knew that.
I think he was just he was being resistant for the sake of being resistant. The notion that you don't know if the transgender community has been as harmful to kids as the Catholic Church, he was just being resistant just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah, man, Twisted come on here and they twist their lies and turn their eyes and twist their body into complete fucking pretzels, all for the admiration of MAGA. I just want y'all to know, Trump ain't listening. Trump don't give a fuck. Y'all talking points are moot. That old motherfucker gonna do whatever the fuck he wanna do. And the fucked up story about it is, when history is told about this time in the quote-unquote great American experiment, you are going to be on the side of people who helped to shape the most fucked up president and the most fucked up presidency and the most fucked up years of this great country that we call America. You're welcome, MAGA.
All right, King. Damn. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Peace.
Anytime. All right, moving on. Looking in the comments. Wow, that's a strong statement about his prediction of how MAGA will go down in history. We'll see. I know MAGA don't agree with that, but unless something changes, I do believe that history probably will not be kind to President Trump. But let's see how it goes. Maybe he will get the economy down, in wars and things like that. Who knows? But right now, no, I don't think history is going to be kind to him. We'll see. Obama spent little time in the courtroom. A notable portion of his legal career also involved writing, what does it says, writing briefs and assisting with real estate transactions. Yeah, I don't think Obama had a big resume to be president. I don't think his resume was all that great. I think he was just a natural at campaigning. He was just a natural politician. Some people get better at what they do. They sharpen their chops by doing it more and more and more. And they just like Biden. Biden ran for president 3 times before he won. I mean, he sharpened his chops over time. Whereas I just think Obama was a natural. Obama was just naturally able to relate to the people. Just a natural way of doing it. I mean, being a president, being a successful president is kind of like I mentioned earlier, like being an actor or an actress. You can go to school and learn how to do it, or you can just be born with it naturally. Some actors don't need any kind of training or any. They just are really good actors from the start. I mean, let's take somebody like Will Smith. He went from a rap star to a A-list actor for a while. I mean, obviously the whole Chris Rock saga didn't help him, but he literally went from just rap music to having his own TV show to being one of the biggest A-listers in Hollywood. Whereas somebody else may have went through years of acting school and they can barely get a role. So some people are just a natural at it. Obama was just a natural at national politics, just really good at it, just great at speaking to people. So some people get it, some people have it, some people don't. Tim, you know that everything Trump trying to sell, what does that say? Floats like a balloon. What do you mean by that? You know that everything Trump's trying to sell floats like a lead balloon. Well, look, I mean, there is some validity to that. I don't put a lot of regards on most of the products Trump is selling. I don't. He was selling watches, and they were. I mean, because most of the stuff Trump is selling is greatly overpriced. The Bibles were like $59 a piece. The shoes are several $100s a pair. I mean, does it float like a like a lead balloon? I'll leave that up to you, but you're not getting your money's worth. The NFT cards, which were just, I don't know what the hell those things were. Yeah, I don't know what his crypto. Maybe his crypto was doing good. It could be that. Maybe his crypto was doing good. I don't know, but other than that, yeah, when he sells stuff, the consumer happiness index is not that great. His universities, Trump steaks, the happiness index normally they have out Trump cologne. That's just real expensive. I thought about buying a bottle of it just to have on the set as a prop. It was like $200 or $300. Like, I'm not buying this shit. Like, $200 or $300 a bottle for some Trump cologne. Like, his stuff is really overpriced. Really, you pay a huge premium for anything he sells. Taco, that's Trump, will end up in the graveyard just like what the Simpsons have predicted. So I'm with him. Their MAGA looks stupid right now. You think that what you say, Trump will end up in a graveyard just like what the Simpsons? How did the Simpsons predict? I mean, did he die of something unusual or something? Like the Simpsons have predicted. So I'm with him there. MAGA, you with him at the cemetery. MAGA looks stupid right now. Well, MAGA, I'm going to say right now, MAGA looks like winners. MAGA is winning. They're getting what they want. So I don't know if they look stupid right now. The future, what history says, that could be something different. But right now, it's the liberals. To me, the liberals look worse than MAGA because the liberals are the ones that are not getting what they want. And the Trump side is able to twist and turn stuff to make the liberals look even worse. Like the liberals don't know what a woman is. The liberals want to defund the police in high crime cities. The liberals are in favor of crime as opposed to letting the National Guard come in there and squash it and get things under control. The liberals want to have a biological male playing against a girl in sports. So right now, the way things have been twisted, I think the liberals are the ones that's looking bad to most of the country. Now, I don't buy into most of that stuff. So I'm not the ones that's looking at the left and say, because I don't believe the left wants to defund the police. I don't believe the left wants crime to continue. But I do think the right has been really good at branding this stuff that way and making, the Democrats look stupid. So right now, I think the Democrats are probably looking worse than the Republicans. I mean, you got Bill Maher and Democrat comedians even saying right now that the Democrats have went too far in areas and things like that. 3 years of Trump, you're probably going to have just the opposite because America's going to be really far right in 3 years. I mean, you know me, I've been making it clear I don't like what they're doing to porn. If I want to watch some porn, leave me the fuck alone. And right now, they're doing all kinds of things to make it harder. So these are things that people, they're starting to tell you what to do. Your kids got to learn the Bible and all this crazy shit. So you can go too far to the left, but you can also go too far to the right. And I think 3 years of Trump, that's what's going to probably happen. The current Secretary of Transportation, Duffy, is a former reality TV actor that was on TV's The Real World. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on a reality show too, like a Dancing with the Stars or a Star Search or something. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on one of those shows. So I don't know if that really means anything. Marjorie Taylor Greene was on there when she was like 23 or something like that. I don't know if that means anything. Separation of church and state. I like separation of church and state. MAGA does not. I think, anytime somebody mixes the two, MAGA just says, well, we are a Christian-based country. So that's why I always say, and the right hammered me on this. I got a video out on YouTube that's titled 5 Rights You're Going to Lose Under President Trump. And the right told me I'm full of shit and it's not going to happen. But the reason why I said that is Trump is every one of those rights I talked about you're going to lose is because Trump is talking about taking it away. And MAGA is okay with that. Like, for instance, the whole burning of the flag. First thing MAGA said, well, you shouldn't be to burn the flag anyway. I believe that if Trump in the Supreme Court finds a way to reverse gay marriage, MAGA's not going to be upset. Well, they shouldn't have been able to marry to begin with. So that's why I'm saying I believe he'll easily be able to take these rights away because there's going to be a lot of support about it. You think if Trump finds a way to to reverse gay marriage, MAGA's going to cry out about that? MAGA's not going to care about that. Even if he was some kind of way able to finagle a national abortion ban, you think MAGA's going to have a problem with that? So the door is open to do this stuff. Talking about bringing back stop and frisk. You think MAGA has a problem with that? No. So the door is clearly open to do this stuff. And he is talking about doing it. That's why I said 5 rights you're going to lose based on what's coming out of his mouth and the fact that MAGA is okay with him doing that stuff. That's what happens when you are in a cult. Damn. Dude, you're so wrong. Yeah, I mean, I'm so wrong until it starts happening. I feel 100% confident that if Trump finds a way to roll back gay marriage, MAGA will celebrate that. There will not be any outcry where, damn, you're taking away rights. MAGA will be happy about that, period. I don't think MAGA would have a problem at all, as I said, if for some reason Trump found a way to get a national abortion ban. MAGA would not have a problem with that because they're already in favor of banning abortion in their areas. Now you're doing it in the liberal areas, which is going to feature a whole bunch of liberals on TV crying and upset, and MAGA loves liberal tears. MAGA loves to see a bunch of liberals on TV talking about Trump is taking away some shit. So absolutely, you could lose this shit, and MAGA would not give a damn about any of this stuff. They would vote in favor of all of the stuff I just mentioned. So the idea that it's not going to happen is crazy when so many people in the country. Now, I'm not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but what I'm saying is if Trump leans in this direction, he's going to get a lot of support from MAGA to do that stuff. all of the things that I just mentioned, MAGA would be totally 100% okay with that. There's another one of the rights. I'm trying to think what it is. I got 5 of them. I can't remember all 5 of them now. I had them in my notes somewhere. List because I did like a 15-minute video on it. Why don't you take into account as if he is willing to violate your First Amendment right or get you to abandon him, your Second Amendment rights are right behind. I don't know if Trump would go after the Second Amendment. That's when people claim he's a dictator, and that's what dictators do. I don't see or hear anything from Trump of any significance to suggest he would take away your Second Amendment rights. But your First Amendment rights are absolutely on the chopping block. And that goes way beyond just the flag burning thing. Your First Amendment rights covers freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion. Trump is attacking all of those. Freedom of speech. You're talking about we don't like the protests they're doing at various colleges and universities, claiming that they're anti-Semitic or whatever, and then he goes there and starts fighting with the colleges. That's all part of your freedom of speech. Whether you're BLM protesting in LA, well, I'm gonna send the National Guard there. I think what's going on is rioting, so I'm gonna break it up. That's your freedom of speech being tackled. Not to mention going after media outlets that speak negatively of him while being totally in favor of media outlets that like him. That's your freedom of press. He's going at the media outlets, saying that NBC and ABC should lose their FCC license. Apparently, he don't like what they're saying, or he's claiming they're lying about stuff, or he's claiming they're giving you misinformation. Meanwhile, Fox has been actually charged and had to pay a ton of money for giving out misinformation, and he's totally okay with Fox News. So he's using misinformation or using the claim that the liberal media lies to you as a reason to get rid of them. But he's 100% okay with Fox News, and they have been caught clearly lying about stuff. Newsmax as well. So lying ain't the problem. It's the problem is you speaking negatively of me. If you're saying something negative, you got to go. If you're saying something positive, I'm going to keep you. I don't care if you're lying or not. So speech, press, as I talked about, being able to protest and stuff without getting it broken up, assembly, and then last but not least, freedom of religion, whether it's forcing Christianity in schools, whether it is talking about, I want a total and complete ban on Muslims entering the country. I mean, religion is a problem as well. They're starting to infuse Christianity. So freedom of press, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of religion. That's all in the First Amendment. All of that stuff is being addressed by President Trump. So we can say it's not happening, but to me, it's right in your face. Am I allowed to still keep Safari or Satan or something? Still love Satan. You love to atheists love the smut in schools. Okay, I don't know where you're going with that, but so yeah, freedom. First Amendment, I believe, is a problem. Bringing back stop and frisk is something he talked about doing, which is a violation of your Fourth Amendment, and that is you have a right against unwarranted searches and seizures, and that's what happens when you're being stopped and frisked. Is they go through your shit. The unwarranted search, you didn't do anything to be searched, yet they're doing it. Fourth Amendment protects you against unwarranted searches and seizures. So your Fourth Amendment rights are on the chopping block as well. Because Trump has made it clear he thinks stop and frisk is effective and he wants to bring it back. And once again, as I stated, MAGA won't have a problem with bringing back stop and frisk. As long as you ain't doing it to them in their area, do it in Chicago. We fine with that. Do it in any liberal city, particularly the ones that are in Democratic states. MAGA's not going to complain about that at all. That's you losing your Fourth Amendment rights. So, and then of course I said same-sex marriage. That's the third one. I talked about the possibility of a national abortion. There's a fifth one. I cannot think of what the fuck it is right now. There's a fifth one. But then I also said there's 2 honorable mentions. Number 1 being birthright citizenship. Now he's made it clear he intends to get rid of that. That is an actual right. There are people that were born in this country that do not have parents that are citizens of this nation. But the law says that if you're born in the country, you are a citizen. Now, I know Trump doesn't agree with that. I know MAGA doesn't agree with it. Fine. But it is the law. And currently it is a right. So you got a lot of people in this country that were born to parents that were non-citizens. If Trump bans birthright citizenship, is he going to do it going forward? Is he going to go back and say, if I can show 20 years ago your parents weren't citizens, who knows what's going to happen? But that's a right you're likely to lose. Birthright citizenship, that's another one. And like I said, on all of these rights, MAGA's not going to care if you lose this shit. They're going to say you should never have been able to have a birthright citizenship to begin with. Just like you should never have been able to marry another man as a man to begin with. You should have never been able to burn the flag to begin with. So what I'm talking, should have never been able to kill your own unborn child to begin with. So it won't be any problem getting this stuff. MAGA's not going to care if this stuff goes away. No, the other one I mentioned, these are honorable mentions. I cannot think of the fifth right you're going to lose. I'd have to look it up. But the other honorable mention, and I don't normally say this as I hate to suggest this that a Republican's going to take this right away, but I do believe states' rights are in jeopardy under Trump. You're seeing it. If your state is not doing or behaving in a way I think they should, I'm gonna come in your state and do things from the federal government aspect. He is expanding the size of government. He's not shrinking. The right tends to be in favor of small government. He's doing the opposite. He's coming. Look, your state got protests and riots going on. I don't think you're doing enough to stop it. I'm gonna come in your state with the federal government. Your state has crime going on. I don't think you're doing enough to stop it. It might be your state has LGBTQ flags in schools. I don't think who knows? He can just make up any reason for why he believes your state is not doing what they should be doing, and then just come in your state. So I do believe states' rights are another one that is at risk under President Trump, because he's now making it clear that he's constantly threatening to come in state. Let's say, for instance, he wants a Republican to win in a mayoral election or something like that, some state election that he's rooting for the Republican candidate to win. I think there's cheating in your state. So I'm going to come in and manage the elections. Any of this stuff. MAGA's not going to care about that. If Trump tells MAGA that the Republican candidate that they need for that party in that state is being cheated out of a job, MAGA's not going to care if he goes in there and controls that election. I'm going to put federal military at all of the polling places. They're going to oversee. MAGA don't care about that. They would be in favor of all of that. So states' rights is another one I think that could be on the chopping block, because you're either going to do what Trump says or he's going to come in your state and take over things. So would it still be considered a democracy? Ooh, be hard to make a case on that one. Hard to make a case on that one. But I do believe states' rights are in jeopardy under Trump. I really do. Because he's making it clear, if you don't do, whether it's how the schools are being ran, whether it's how the media is being ran, whether it's how the city government, he's making it clear, if you don't do things the way I think you should do, I'm coming in your area and I'm going to take over shit. He's doing it all over the place right now. Cities, you've had schools that Trump has went in and took their funding and things. He's doing it all over the place. So states' rights, I do believe, is at risk under President Trump. And that's crazy because the right is big fans of states' rights, but they're standing by idly while he is going and sitting. He's talking about sending the National Guard to Baltimore next. Now, I'm not denying that crime is not high in Chicago, crime is not high in Baltimore, but there should be a standard for how you do this, okay? How many murders per capita, or how many robberies, or I'm just gonna pick any city that has some crime in it. I can say it's an emergency and go in that town. I can skip cities that might be more violent and go to some of them that are less violent. Maybe just because I don't like the fact that the mayor's on TV saying some bad shit about me. I'm just gonna do this. States' rights are at risk under President Trump. Absolutely, they're at risk under him. Pablo, the two viewers. Okay, you talking about something out of the Bible? I don't know what that says there, but yeah, I'd have to get the fifth one. There is a fifth right. I don't know why I don't have it written down somewhere around here, because But if you go on my YouTube page, Handsome Liberal, and look at my videos, it's titled "5 Rights Americans Will Lose Under Trump," and I play a couple clips of Trump saying some of this stuff, because all of the stuff I'm saying, none of it is based on feelings. It's based on Trump actually talking about those rights, like with burning the flag and how he feels about gay marriage. Him actually talking about whether or not you should be able to do it. So and of course, as I said, the fact that MAGA would be in favor of you losing every right I just mentioned. MAGA would not have a problem with any of those things I just mentioned. So, because MAGA's definitely behind Trump in regards to getting rid of birthright citizenship. They definitely are okay with that. They're definitely okay with Trump going in these different states doing what he's doing. Whether it is the LA perceived riots or Chicago, they're totally okay with that. That's states' rights. So I don't think any of the things I mentioned, MAGA would push back at all. So states' rights is definitely on the chopping block. But Tim, he returned abortion to the states and is returning school control to the state. What do you mean school control to the state? Well, abortion is easy. Abortion is easy. It's just like with the gay marriage thing. The Supreme Court is going to do it, and then Trump can say, "Well, I didn't do it. The Supreme Court did," knowing that you specifically put Supreme Court justices in there that were going to be unfavorable to it. So it wouldn't have happened without him. Now, in regards to returning abortion to the states, here's why I say it's easy. First of all, most abortions are done by medicine, or you take a drug and it, creates the contractions and pushes out what's inside the woman. Ban the drug nationwide, and you've just made it considerably harder for the abortion to be performed. But that ain't where you stop at. You also now, most Americans agree that if a woman is pregnant and some type of criminal bestows violence upon the woman and she loses the life of the unborn child inside of her, that criminal should be charged with murder for taking the life of the unborn. Let's say you try to take a purse from let's say you try to take a purse from a woman that's pregnant. And in the process of yanking the purse, you knock her to the ground or whatever, she falls and she loses the baby as well. You can be charged for the death of that baby. Well, and I think most liberals agree. Most liberals are in favor of that. The problem is, if you can be charged with murder for killing the life of the unborn, why is a doctor allowed to do it? I mean, this is what I'm saying. If you present this before the Supreme Court, why is a doctor allowed to just kill a totally viable fetus, but you're going to charge a criminal with murder? I don't think it would be hard to get them to say, well, yeah, killing the unborn is murder. And if killing the unborn is murder, then that means when the doctor does it, it's murder too. How is it that the criminal can do it and be charged, like I said, with murder, but when the doctor does it, he gets a pass? The doctor ain't doing it for anything that meets the Hippocratic oath. What is it? First, do no harm. No, you're deliberately killing something. And I'm pro-choice saying this. I am pro-choice, but I'm simply saying I think it would be easy. It would be real easy to make an argument that what he is doing is murder. I mean, it doesn't meet the Hippocratic oath or anything. Why are you just taking? Now, if she's sick or something's wrong with her, that's something different. If her life is at risk or something, but you just simply taking the life of a perfectly healthy embryo or perfectly healthy fetus, and it's okay for the doctor to do it, but if the criminal does it, he gets charged with murder. I think you could easily and somebody in the comments, I agree with that, Billy Wapple. Right-wing Supreme Court will roll with that. Yeah, I think if you present that case in front of Alito and Thomas and Roberts and those folks, I can't think of the white woman's name. I can't think of her name, but I think they would agree with that. I think you could get that by them. So there's your national abortion ban. So once you do that, once you now deem that taking the life of a healthy fetus or a healthy embryo is murder, then that means any doctor in a liberal state that does it can be charged with murder. So that's going to make all of the doctors in liberal states stop doing it too. In addition to banning the drug they used to do it. Do those two things and you got your federal, Amy call me Barry, yeah. Do those two things and you essentially got a national abortion ban. It can be legal in the state, but now you don't remove the ability to do it. It's like legalizing guns but banning bullets. Okay, the gun is useless. So that's how you get your national abortion ban. Ban the drug and actually address the fact that if a criminal can be charged with murder for doing this, why is the doctor allowed to get away with it? More excuses when more excuses when it fits the Democratic scenario. I don't know what you're saying, but I guess every right that I said every right that I said is at risk. You're not going to get widespread condemnation or protest from MAGA if any of those things are lost. You're going to get more celebratory from MAGA. Any of that stuff I just mentioned. If you force Christianity in schools, they're cool with that. You start breaking up protests that are unfavorable to Trump, they're cool with that. All of the First Amendment stuff going at the liberal media, they're cool with that. So they're totally cool with you violating the First Amendment rights. Now, they don't want you to do it to them. They're totally cool with you doing it to other people, is what I'm saying. They're totally cool with violating the Fourth Amendment right, stopping, frisking, all of that stuff. They're totally cool with reversing gay marriage. And then, of course, I talked about abortion. I talked about birthright citizenship. MAGA's not going to protest any of that shit. So the idea that it will never happen is ridiculous. You would get widespread support from President Trump from MAGA. If Trump tried to do any of the stuff I just mentioned, he's going to get widespread support from MAGA. So why believe that he wouldn't do it? He loves to please and energize his base. His base would go ape shit over that stuff. They would love that stuff I just mentioned. All of it. They would love that stuff. Right wing, Amy Coney Barrett and her husband have 7 children, 2 of whom are black and were adopted from Haiti. She has 2 black kids. Okay, that don't mean she ain't right wing though. That doesn't mean just because she got black children don't mean she's not a right winger. I mean, there are legitimate reasons to vote for the right. Maybe you don't believe that people have a hard time knowing what a woman is. I mean, maybe you don't believe that minimum wage should be increased, or you don't believe that people should have universal health care. There are legitimate reasons to vote right. So you could be white and have black children and still be conservative because you don't agree with liberal policies. There are legitimate reasons to not agree with the left. Just like I think there's a ton of legitimate reasons not to agree with the right. So having black children don't really mean anything in that case. You don't know your power. Keep the legs closed till marriage. That's the religious stuff about it. I don't know. Humans like to have sex. Telling people to keep their legs closed ain't gonna work. The examples, as remember, did not use the mother. Did not say the mother died, but if the mother does die, then they would charge the perpetrator with a double homicide because they can. Yeah, but even if the mom lives okay, like I said, if the mom is pregnant and you're trying to rob her or something like that, or let's say God forbid you shoot her in the stomach and she lives, but the embryo or the fetus dies, you can be charged with murder. You still can be charged. They don't both have to pass away. Just one of them. You can if you take the life of the unborn, that alone, you can be charged with murder. So, like I said, if the person can be charged with it, why is the doctor getting away with it? So it can definitely happen. Let me see.